With the right around Huntley, he reaches, oh, that ball's out, that's live! Back the other way, Sam Hubbard! The Cincinnati Kid! Hubbard's got a convoy! Chased by Andrews! At the 30, the 20, he will score!
To the end zone, down the field, and it is deflected, and gone! Touchdown! A.J. Green!
Goes back to throw, men are coming late, looks right down the middle, there's Eddie Brown, he has it at the 35 to the 30, he may go, 10-5, touchdown!
Now the Bengals Super Bowl chances rest on his right foot. The kick is up.
Yeah.
It is good.
Corey Dillon, he's gone. The knockout punch, you're looking at it. 65 yards.
And they're back to throw as the blitz is on. Goes long, intended for Collinsworth. He has it down to the 20, touchdown! And Chris Collinsworth.
Throwing the long ball. Deep down the field. Chad Johnson's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
Look at Chase go. Oh my goodness, what a gear he just found. Chase for the touchdown. Wow, Chase is on the case.
It is no fluke. It is a fact. The Cincinnati Bengals are headed to Super Bowl 56. The play clock at 3. Shotgun snap. Carr throws into traffic. Intercepted. Jermaine Pratt has the football.
Yeah.
Coffin nails.
Bam, bam, bam. How about that?
Well, hello and welcome into a Week 15 edition of the Chatterbox Bengals. We are sitting here at 4-9, Andrew. Not where we want to be. Technically, there's still a chance for playoff hopes. We'll break all that down here shortly. How you doing? How's the weather been for you? Because it's been miserable down here in Southwest Ohio.
Yeah, it hasn't been horrible up here. The roads are starting to get plowed and whatnot, so it's getting better. But yeah, definitely not something you want to be out in right now. But I'm doing good, man. I'm excited for the game today and hoping that we can kind of replicate the last matchup 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I kind of got a pulse check on the Cincinnati fandom very, very recently. I think I was asked by 3 different people if I wanted tickets for free to go to the Bengals game. And my brother-in-law also received free tickets to go to this game. Seems like no one wants to go to these Bengals games, especially when the weather is this poor. Either that's a testament to, where the Bengals stand right now at 4-9 with barely any chances of any playoff hopes, whether that's the weather or possibly comments from Joe Burrow and the fandom being at an all-time low. Most of you, if you are tuned into Bengals news, are familiar with some of the comments that Joe has had over the last couple pressers. Not really sounding like himself, kind of down, very somber. And the very last presser that he did garnered a ton of attention. If we could maybe put those up here. This is what Joe had to say. If I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing it. I've been through a lot, and if it's not fun, what am I doing it for? Couldn't agree. I think I've been through more than most, and it's certainly not easy on the brain or the body, so just trying to have fun doing it again. Man, that is a tough quote. Most people immediately think of Andrew Luck. Some of the body language, some of the comments that he made right before his very just random exit, his retirement, shocked the NFL world, the football world as we know it. It just is very eerie, very similar, right? They have a very similar career where he's hit a lot, hurt a lot, a very good football player, but just can't seem to stay healthy, and it's starting to weigh on him. I don't blame him, man. I couldn't imagine one being in a profession where you are putting your body on the line all the time, and sometimes you can't even really defend yourself, right? It's been that poor throughout his career at certain points. Andrew, I have a really tough time feeling that some of the other comments made later on by like Jamar saying that he's fine, that he's a football guy. It feels more like damage control. Some of the comments that were made, I feel like Joe was trying to be honest with us and saying that, this is tough on him. This is really hard on him physically, mentally. And if things don't change, maybe he makes a change himself. And I don't think Bengals fans like hearing that. We've been through it already with the Carson Palmer era. Maybe that was a little different just because it was more of a, if you don't do what I say, I'm out of here. And it's a whole convoluted mess. The fandom is just in disarray. No one can really seem to agree or disagree or decipher the comments made. What do you think, Andrew? Because for me personally, I am nervous about these comments because I don't think it's going to happen this year, but it could happen later on. If it doesn't get better, I could see it going for the worse.
No, I think you're right. I think that if it doesn't get better, it is going to get worse. Like it's just, well, that's kind of easy to say, right? But like in terms of if we're not building winning seasons with Joe Burrow, like at a certain point in time, he's going to do what is best for his career. He's not going to Matthew Stafford this thing like Stafford did in Detroit, where he's 36 before he plays on a winning football team again. Like that's just not going to happen. And part of me wants this to be like Joe just had a bad day. Like he's having a bad day. He's allowed to have bad days. But then the other part of me looks at this and says, man, this is really concerning because let's be honest, like he is the key to everything for this franchise. And when you have him and you're not able to win games, it's kind of embarrassing because with him, it just seems like you only need to have mediocre everything else, right? Like he's so good that he can raise everybody else around him that you don't even need to have a top half defense. You don't need to have a top half offensive line. Like if you're just able to get to average with those groups, then they should be really, really good because of his elite quarterback play. And they haven't been able to do that in the last few seasons and also keep him upright. So all those things combined is starting to create kind of this nasty storm that is, I can't blame him for feeling this way. And I think a lot of fans, Bengals fans are feeling that that the Bengals have let Joe Burrow down. And this was all the talk coming out of the draft. It was, all the national pundits saying, oh, we don't want him to go to Cincinnati. They'll ruin this kid's career, all this stuff. And, he goes to the Super Bowl early on. And you kind of think that maybe that they were wrong. And now it's starting to seem that they might have been right all along. And that's really hurts because we obviously care a lot about this football team. And, we take a lot of our Sundays, we put out a lot of content. Like for us, it really matters how this team does. And for them to not be performing with this level of quarterback is really, really hard and something that, if Joe Burrow continues to lose games and get beat up and have to have surgeries every other season, then how can you blame him for wanting out of Cincinnati? And I'm not saying that's happening right now. I think that, he wants to be here and he wants to win here. And I think that ultimately is what he wants to do in general is just to win. So when they're not winning, it's going to continue to feel like this. But on the other hand, like this week now feels so big because they get this win today and it might soften the blows earlier on this week. But if they lose, you're starting to look at mock drafts. You're starting to think about shutting some players down at some point in time. And it just becomes a completely different season if they're not able to get this win here today. And I'm not saying that they have a shot at the playoffs even. It's more a morale thing, right? Like this is a big game today in terms of keeping the fan base energetic and Joe Burrow happy.
Yeah. And like at best, right, that these comments have shown me is that his mindset has changed. Like he was a killer before. It didn't matter. Like he wants to win at no matter the cost. Doesn't quite feel that way now. And that to me is just not good. It's a testament to the organization and how they've let him down. It's really unfortunate. It really is. I do hope that they can, string together some wins. I know a lot of fans, they just want to tank. They just want to lose out and get a better draft pick. I understand. That's probably best for the team to try to get a good draft position. But in terms of the locker room, if you don't want it to fracture, you can't just give up this season. I think that's a big deal. I don't like quitters, and I don't like losers. So those two combined, no go for me. Moving on. If they're going to win, let's look back at week 13. The Bengals, they had 5 turnovers in that game. 1 interception off of Lamar Jackson, a couple fumble recoveries. They were able to get ahead early and keep a lead and keep the ball away from the Ravens. I do remember that they had a lot of time of possession. As you can see, they limited the amount of carries that Derrick Henry had, but they were still giving up quite a few yards to him. It was really difficult to bring him down. Some of the old things that keep popping up this season, tackling were issues. But we were also able to get to Lamar Jackson. We were able to create a lot of pressure, which has been different than most of the games this season. We've not been able to get a lot of pressure. I think those are all going to be very important things moving forward. In order to win this game, we're going to need a similar performance from our defense. We're going to need guys to not give up. The perfect example in my mind is the Isaiah Likely. I mean, he should have scored. He should have scored a touchdown, but they didn't give up. And they caused a turnover. Goes out of the back of the end zone. We get the ball back. Swings momentum of the game significantly, right? We need a performance like that today. In the snow, in the cold, hard-nosed, gritty football. We need them to be men today. We need them to basically say, we're not losers today. We're not quitters today. We're going to come at you with everything we got and at least give ourselves that sliver of a chance to continue vying for a playoff. I think they have to have the Steelers lose out, but at this point, I'll take anything, any sort of hope, as long as it means the mental of Joe Burrow is intact. What do you think of the week 13 and what it means for week 15 against the Ravens today here in Paycor? What do they need to do to get this job done?
Well, I thought that when the Bengals took that early lead against Baltimore, that Baltimore honestly panicked. I thought that they just went away from their game plan, which is, handing the ball off to Derrick Henry and letting Lamar use his legs a little bit. Obviously, he was banged up. I don't know what his health is like still. If he's playing at 100%, it's a completely different Lamar. And we saw in 2 weeks ago that it just didn't look like his old self. So I think that they're going to have a harder time today stopping the run because they're going to try to focus in on trying to get Derrick Henry 20-plus carries. With this defense, how can you not give Derrick Henry the ball more? But, they got down 2 scores in that one, and they were forced to throw it as much as they did. And so that's why I think that the Bengals kind of were able to tee off a little bit on that. And, they didn't hand the ball off to Derrick. Getting 10 carries for Derrick Henry is crazy. He is the second best player on your offense, and the first one is banged up in a major way. So why are you not handing the ball off? I was very glad that that's what happened. But I have a little bit of fear that Derrick Henry's going to run rampant on this defense today, especially with the weather being how it is. Now, like you said, they were able to force turnovers in that week 13 victory. And if they can do the same thing here today, then it's going to be massive. I'm not sure how much the weather will impact Joe. I know that he's obviously played Ohio football into December before and into January, so he's not exactly unaware of the challenges that it brings. But they're also, again, without T. Higgins. They were without T. Higgins in that Week 13 game as well. So it's going to be interesting to see the game plan that Zach Taylor tries to come up with today, whether he's trying to go more run heavy. Obviously, Chase Brown had a good week when we put up that graphic, 15 carries for 78 yards. If they're able to replicate that, it might be more running than we previously saw. I mean, Joe threw the ball 46 times in that last matchup. So I have to imagine that today it's going to have to be a little bit of a different recipe for the Bengals, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I can't imagine him throwing 46 times in what feels like negative degree weather. Yeah, I mean, I just couldn't imagine that happening again. It's funny you brought up no T Shamar or Trey, and none of those guys played in Week 13 versus the Ravens. And it's still a big deal no matter what. You look at that game, there was a lot of field goals. We couldn't quite punch it in the red zone. That's where you're missing T. Shamar, you just hope that he be back here for development's sake. He's only had like 170 snaps this season, only played in 5 games. Unfortunately, no Shamar tonight. And then Trey, I mean, the whole Trey situation, I know we talked about it earlier on in the week on this channel. Completely blown up in our face, giving him that raise, and look at where we're at now. He only played 4 or 5 games this season for us, and it didn't matter. He didn't make a significant enough impact to help us win ball games. So yeah, not having those 3 is a big deal, but it wasn't needed for their recipe to beat the Baltimore Ravens, like you said. Again, the cold, the weather, and the way that the Bengals like to usually play football, I have to imagine Chase at least getting 20 plus carries, or maybe they spread it out against everyone. Maybe it's Samaje today, because he's more of your power back. He's more of your hard-nosed grinder there. I can see him getting a lot more touches here today. Maybe we see Taj Brooks a little bit. We haven't really seen much of him. I'd like to maybe see a little bit of him. But yeah, I mean, today, you're going to have to wrap up Derrick Henry. He's getting more than 10 carries today. He's just going to.
Yeah,
and he still had 100
absolutely.
yards. He had 11 touches, I think is what I saw. He had 1 reception for 44 yards and then 60 yards on 10 carries. I mean, he's going to have a field day.
How do you not get him the ball more in that game? That will always be confusing to me. I think that was a coaching mistake there.
Yeah, I don't see that happening again. Weather is a big factor. The other big factor, when you're in these, power formations where you have 13 personnel, where you've got a lot of tight ends, and running a lot of power in the weather like this, you're going to have opportunities to throw to those tight ends, dump it off, or maybe they sneak out and almost score a touchdown, like the Isaiah Likely play. If maybe we could pull up the stats from the tight ends in Week 13 versus the Bengals. Isaiah Likely with 5 receptions, 95 yards. His season total, 22 catches for 248 yards. He almost had half of his yards this season alone against the Bengals. I know he's been in and out with injury, but that's still significant. And then again, Mark Andrews, he also was able to convert on timely third downs time and time again in that game. It's going to be a big deal. The Bengals, we know that it's been a pretty well-established fact here this season that they have given up historic amounts of yards and touchdowns to tight ends this season. How big of a deal is it going to be, considering the weather, considering that the Ravens probably are going to run the ball a little bit more, that our linebackers stay disciplined, that they, fill the gaps when they're needed, and then, step back and get into pass pro, find their tight ends, find their mans, and get into coverage, man. It's going to be very important, I imagine.
Yeah, the linebackers are going to have a big task ahead of them, just for the reasons that you just explained. And I'm okay using this as the litmus test for their rookie season. Like, seeing how they play today, that will tell me, how much I need to know about these two guys, because they've had 14 games now. This is their 14th game. And honestly, we've seen very marginal or minimal improvements. Like, it hasn't been what we expected by any means. After those first couple weeks, you thought maybe that they would start to produce a little bit more, but they're going to have their work cut out for them today. And I can't imagine that if they continue to play at the level that they are at, that they roll those two same linebackers out there again next year. Maybe it's a mix and match thing, but you put so much into those draft picks. Like those are big picks that you could have used to potentially get players that could help you on the offensive line, maybe a different linebacker somewhere else. And, it's just going to be a really big game for them today, because they're going to have to show that they are able to play a high level of football in December in the AFC North against a really good team. And it's just going to be, I haven't been impressed with them. They have a chance today to kind of turn things around in my eyes and show that they are able to play at a high level.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. This is the test, in my opinion. Like you said, if they can't get it done today, and they're just not going to get it done in the NFL, period. I mean, you got to be able to stop the run today. It's coming. Derrick Henry's coming. We'll find out for sure, man. I mean, and if not, we can have that discussion about the evaluation and the draft process and how that has affected this season dramatically. I mean, they had better options than Shamar. That could have been Jahad Campbell. That could have been the rookie linebacker from the Browns. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but those guys, yeah, they were all that fringe first round grades. I know they had issues, but like if it was this big of a deal that you would spend two picks on it in the same draft, maybe it's a problem with the evaluation of the position on the team and how important it is moving forward. Lots of discussion there. Yeah, we need to see some development, massive development.
I have a question for you, Casey. Do you think if they rolled Jermaine Pratt and Logan Wilson out there, do you think that this season would be any different? Do you think that they might have an extra win or another 2 wins under their belt?
Oh man. I do think that the season would be a bit different, but I don't think it would be for the exact reasons. They needed to move on from both guys. Logan Wilson, I don't even think is starting for the Dallas Cowboys right now. I mean, he's just a shell of himself. I think the injuries caught up with him. Pratt, he's doing really good in Indianapolis, but they've got a fantastic front four. They got a great defensive coordinator there. They got guys all around on that defense that allow him to make the plays that he's able to make. I would think that they needed to inject some new blood in there, but I would have loved to have seen maybe one of those Pratt probably to just stick around. I know that sounds crazy after the season that he had the year prior, but this is another level of just mediocrity, man. I mean, they're both at the bottom of every statistical analytical category, according to PFF, according to whatever metric you look at. Both of these rookie linebackers are at the bottom, and it's just not. It's not good. It's unacceptable.
And the weird thing to me is that those were Al Golden's guys, right? Like when he was a linebacker coach here, those were who he was playing and developing. And so it was just, I agree. I think it was time to kind of turn over a new leaf at the linebacker position. So I don't necessarily blame the organization for moving on from those two guys, but I certainly think that if they were out there this season, it's just who they replaced them with. And I don't mean any disrespect to Demetrius Knight or Barrett Carter, but it's just the fact that they haven't been up to the standard that you would like from your linebackers. I think about Akeem Davis-Gaither and, the role that he played too on special teams. And now I think he's playing okay over in Arizona. So it's just like we moved on from all of the linebackers that we previously played. And everybody who's come in has kind of performed less than where I would have expected those guys to. And that includes Oren Burks. I mean, every week, again, PFF isn't the be all end all, but when it comes to looking at some stats like missed tackles and coverage grades and things like that, I think it's a good tool. And Oren Burks is routinely in the high 20s and low 30s every week for his game grade. So it's tough to even look at the rotational linebackers that they've brought in, and it's become a huge problem this season. And yeah, it's just going to be a big test today. If these guys are going to be good NFL players or productive NFL players, they have to show up today.
Yeah, and I won't get super deep into it because we don't have a lot of time to discuss it. And I think it needs a whole separate video or a separate live show to discuss these things. But part of the offseason, they had 4 guys in mind that they wanted to re-sign. They did that, and then they kind of just said, whatever happens at the end of free agency happens. They didn't spend any time looking at guys that could help them when free agency started. And they basically neglected the positions, even though they addressed them. They didn't seek any of the top talent, any of the I don't want to say like the cream of the crop, but they didn't even like go after the middle tier guys. They went after the bottom of the barrel, the scraps. The Oren Burks didn't even start for the Eagles. They were banking off his play in the playoffs, which he's in front of Pro Bowl and all pro level caliber players. And, Slayton, he's good in run defense. He's good in one role, but it's just not good enough, right? You need some pass rush there in the interior too. So unfortunately, I think it's partially like it's a problem that they realized that they didn't get the leadership in there that they needed. They didn't get the guy, the veteran, right? They didn't get the veteran in there that they needed to help move these guys along. They're just kind of going at it. Like if you were to throw a rookie quarterback in his first season, it can be horrible. It could look like Peyton Manning, but maybe we see some development out of these guys. Today's a big test for them. Certainly a big test for them. Predictions, bets. Do you got any bets for me before we go into predictions?
None that I think are going to make Bengals fans happy. I every time we play the Ravens, I will take the over on the tight ends receiving yards. And we talked about it already, but it just seems like every time we play them, those two, one of the two is going to have a big game. So I'm hoping that's not the case today. I really am hoping that I miss on this. But that would be the one thing that I'm thinking about. The other thing might be, under on the passing attempts for Lamar Jackson today. I'm not sure what that's even looking like, but just that's how I feel their game plan is going to go, is that they're not going to try to throw the ball very much.
Yeah. I'm just looking right now. Chase Brown's over is 47.5. Samaje Perine 23.5. I would take Samaje all day, every day. I think that he's going to get the ball a little bit more than what the books are thinking right now. Touchdown props. I feel like Jamar is like the Ravens killer. It's similar to like AJ Green. I feel like every time he plays against the Ravens, he gets just a phenomenal game. So I would probably be looking at him as well. His any time for touchdowns is minus 150. So maybe not enough of a juice squeeze ratio there for you guys. But yeah, those were my predictions or my bets for today. Prediction, I'm going to say this is going to be a low-scoring game. I know many fans think that it could be a high-scoring game just because historically these two teams like to produce a lot of offense against each other. But the weather, man, I just think it's going to be so huge, such a big factor in this game. I'm going to say Ravens 22, Bengals 13. My final prediction.
Yeah, I think I'm right around there with you. I think the Bengals have trouble in the red zone a little bit with not being able to throw the ball at maybe the clip that they're used to. I think that I'll go 17-16 Baltimore. I think it's going to be really close. I think that the Bengals are just going to kick too many field goals in the end.
Yeah, I like that. I like that prediction a lot. Well, I don't love it, being a Bengals fan. I think it makes sense. That will do it for the pregame. I think we got Craig Sandlin on standby here. Andrew, any final words before we head out?
Go Bengals. Let's get a win today.
Yeah. Who day? Craig, on to you.
All right, welcome in. Appreciate you all joining us. A lot of optimism there in Cincinnati with Casey and Andrew. I understand, I guess, but certainly hopeful beyond what their predictions were, and appreciate you all tuning in. Just moments away from kickoff in a snowy Cincinnati, single-digit weather, snow on the ground. Definitely going to be a slobber knocker of sorts there in Cincinnati. Appreciate you joining in. We'll be here to take you through the entire game and give live play-by-play and reaction as it happens. Want to give a quick shout out to Dan the Ripper for the $5 super chat. I'm not exactly hopeful for the playoffs as a Bengals fan, but this team just keeps bringing me back. Love you guys, though. Love from Pleasant Ridge. Dan, appreciate you tuning in and appreciate all of you tuning in. We are just moments away. I see some predictions in the chat. Sage says 27-24 Bengals. Molly says 17-6, but doesn't say who's going to win. I see what you're doing, Molly. I see what you're doing. Jake says 31-20 Ravens. Vandy says 35-21 Bengals. And David tuning in says 42-10 Bengals. Appreciate you all watching and tuning along. Looks like the Bengals and Ravens are lining up for the kickoff as we are just in. Joe Burrow, jackets on, breath coming out, being able to see it on the screen. Appears as if the both quarterbacks on the bench, so I don't actually know who's getting the ball and all of that yet, but I guess we'll get it here in just a second. And Aditi is giving a report now on Joe Burrow and his comments. Fans look like they are bundled up, to say the least. Bengals lined up. They will kick it away. Evan McPherson lined up, sends it deep. Fielded at the 2-yard line. Brought up the middle of the field. This is Rasheen Ali and tackled at the 24. It'll be Ravens ball there. Joe Giles Harris with the tackle. As Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens take the field. The guys talked about it on the pregame show. I think what they said is probably accurate. With the snow and the weather the way it is, Derrick Henry will get a solid dose of the ball here in this one. The Ravens will start in shotgun. Henry to Jackson's right. Moves Zay Flowers in motion, handed off to Derrick Henry up the middle, and he's tackled after a medium length gain, maybe 4, and Bengals defender kind of smacking the ground. I don't know if he's upset or if he's hurt. See if we can find out. Must just be a upset. But Derrick Henry picks up. Oh no, it'll be a injury timeout. It looks like. Looks like BJ Hill maybe. BJ Hill made the tackle and then was, like I mentioned, was hitting the ground in pain. So I'm not sure exactly what happened, but one play into it, and one of the Bengals' better middle defensive linemen is already shaken up. We'll see if it is serious or if he's able to make his way back into this game. Obviously, I think Derrick Henry is a big piece of this game, but we talked about it on the pregame show as well. This tight end duo just gashed the Bengals last time these two met just 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. Bengals won that one 32-14, but it could have been a different story. Isaiah Likely, 5 catches for 95 yards, including a ball that should have been a touchdown, but he fumbled as he was crossing the goal line as Nico Collins finds the end zone, a deep touchdown for the Texans early in that one. Mark Andrews was 4 catches for 47 yards. that 2 tight end duo going for 145 yards against the Bengals last time. Can't have that happen. And we certainly can't have Derrick Henry get 6 yards per carry as he did last time as well. We'll take a look around the league. Some intriguing matchups, to say the least. Starts with the Chargers visiting Kansas City to face the Chiefs. The Bills are in New England, in snowy New England Stadium. Drake May has the ball and driving against the Bills in that one. The Bills coming in 9-4, Patriots 11-2 as they battle in the AFC East. Battle of attrition, the Commanders and Giants going at it. And then the, let's see, what else? We got Packers versus Broncos later today. Lions versus Rams. Colts Seahawks tonight. We'll see Phillip Rivers return to the NFL field for the first time in 5 years as they take on the Seahawks. Vikings and Cowboys, your Sunday night game, and then Monday night, Dolphins versus Steelers in a game that every Bengals fan will be watching. Looks like we're coming back now from our injury timeout. See if we get any sort of update on BJ Hill and if he walked off or what it was, but did walk off, but went to the blue tent. Looks like maybe one of the Ravens offensive linemen fell on his back of his ankle. Back in action now. It is Henry again up the middle on the counter attack, picks up another 5, and it'll be 3rd down and 1 on this opening drive for the Baltimore Ravens. The crowd is sparse, felons. The crowd is sparse. But rightfully so. I mean, Casey mentioned it on the pregame show, right? I mean, he got offered tickets by 3 different people for free. I saw a number of social media posts about people who were looking to give away tickets that were unable to. They'll hand it to Derrick Henry to try and pick up this 3rd and short, and he'll scoot through the line and pick up 3 for a first down for the Ravens out near the 50-yard line. Not a lot of people looking to go out and watch a 4-9 football team in 8-degree weather. So can understand why maybe the stands are looking the way they were. Maybe if this Bengals team was 9-4 instead of 4-9, it would be a different story. So the Ravens start with 3 runs for Derrick Henry. They started with a heavy dose of Henry last time these two teams meet and then abandoned the game plan. Lamar Jackson will throw this time. He finds Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews will have a gain of 4 before he is gang tackled and pushed backwards for bring up 2nd and 6. John Harbaugh's in his 18th season as Baltimore head coach, but 2 AFC North mainstays, John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin, both potential rumors about what their future holds. We'll see how this season ends and if that plays into it. Jackson tosses to Henry out wide right. He's met in the backfield right away by Myles Murphy and then gang tackled after that by a group of Bengals for a loss of 1. It'll bring up 3rd and 7. This is exactly what you're looking for if you're a Bengals defense. 3rd and a long way to go for Lamar Jackson. Make him beat you through the air. Great job by Myles Murphy shedding the Patrick Ricard block and meeting Derrick Henry in the background. Myles Murphy and Joseph Ossai both stepped up on the defensive side of the ball of late. Jackson back to pass from shotgun, and he's going to be sacked by Myles Murphy. Back-to-back plays by Myles Murphy meets the Ravens ball carrier in the backfield. And Myles Murphy coming up big to shut down the opening Ravens drive. It'll be 4th down and 9, and the Ravens will punt it away. Myles Murphy showing out early. Drake May with a rushing touchdown in New England to go up 6-0 over the Bills. And Myles Murphy, shoestring tackle from behind on Jackson as Jackson was looking to scramble. Brings out Jordan Stout in this Ravens punt team. Charlie Jones back to receive it. He'll let it bounce at the 1, and it'll go into the end zone for a Bengals touchback. And Joe Burrow and this offense will take over now. Big drive for this Bengals defense to start off. Jaguars also on the board in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence finds Brian Thomas Jr. for a 16-yard touchdown and a 7-0 lead over the Jets. I think Murphy's going to have a job next year. That's not really a question. But there are some people that are saying that you should extend him now. I don't know if I'm ready for that, but he continues to play the way he has the last couple of weeks over the final few weeks. He'll certainly warrant some conversations, just a matter of what that cost will be. And then had a good conversation on Off the Bench on Friday, talked about Joseph Osai. Obviously, he signed a 1-year contract coming into this year. What will his future look like? Will the Bengals try to re-sign him this offseason? What will a contract for him look like? We will see. What's up, Jordan? Appreciate you tuning in. Hi, Mom. I mean, he beat Likely and he beat Ricard on the previous play. I get it, but DNs are going to get favorable matchups from time to time, and you've got to take advantage of them. The problem is that Murphy, Osai, and others in the past have not taken advantage of those matchups. And so I'll take any win that we can get at this point, if we're being honest. So I understand it, but I'm not going to pump my brakes. The Eagles are driving against the Raiders. Devontae Smith picks up the first down. Somehow the Texans got the ball back already, and they are kicking a field goal to go up 10-0 on the Cardinals with just 12 minutes still on the clock. Chiefs are in the red zone against the Chargers. Pacheco loses 5 there. Bring up 2nd and goal from outside the 10-yard line. -9 in Cincinnati with a real feel of -6. That's why your crowd is sparse there, buddy. Well, they didn't give Devontae Smith the first down, so it'll be 4th and 1 in Philly. Bengals. Joe Burrow will start out of shotgun, hand it to Chase Brown. He'll run right into Teddy Buchanan, a gain of 1 on first down for the Bengals. Burrow coming into this one, last 2 starts, 59.8% completion percentage, averaging 272.5 yards per game, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Obviously, those 2 interceptions were vital in that Bills loss last week. He went 25 of 36 for 284, 4 touchdowns in that game, but the 2 INTs in the last 7 minutes kind of cost the Bengals the game in that one. He'll be alone in shotgun on 2nd down. He throws over the middle. Mike Gesicki, who had a big game last week against the Bills, picks up the first down, gains 11, and the Bengals are officially on their way. No T. Higgins for the Bengals this one. He's out with a concussion. Missed the last matchup against the Ravens as well with a concussion and came back, was cleared, and got dropped on his head twice last week against the Bills, and now he's out for this one. Burrow in shotgun, Brown to his right. Ravens showing blitz. Brown tries to pick up the blitz. He does it with a hold. This play is not going to count. It doesn't matter what happens. Burrow finds Iosivas on the sideline, but it's going to be called back. Chase Brown clearly held Malachi Starks as he was coming in on the blitz. It's going to be flagged for a holding, and it'll be 1st down and 20 for the Bengals now. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Kyle Hamilton blitzing, not Malachi Starks, but Hamilton showed blitz pre-snap coming from the opposite direction that Brown was lined up. Brown came across Burrow's face to try and pick up the blitz and just couldn't do it. Hamilton beat him, and Brown just had to grab him to protect Joe Burrow. Dallas Goedert into the end zone for the Eagles. They take a 7-0 lead over the Raiders. It'll be 1st and 20 now, 9:38 to go in the first quarter. Burrow in shotgun again with Brown to his left. Ravens only bring 4. Burrow looks out left. He's got Jamar Chase, and Jamar Chase is going to pick up 18 before being forced out of bounds and bring up second and short. Big completion there on the out route to Jamar Chase. Was a 12-yard out route, and then Jamar Chase did the rest, picking up an additional 5 or 6 yards on that one, and Bengals pick up the holding penalty and more. Patrick Mahomes with a rushing touchdown in Kansas City to go up 7-0 over the Chargers. Do our best to keep you up to date on what's happening around the league throughout today's broadcast. 2nd and 2 now for the Bengals. Ravens want a false start. The officials won't give it to him. Hand it off to Samaje Perine, and Perine's got a big gain for a first down and more. Gain of 8 out to the 48-yard line, and the Bengals nearing Ravens territory. I texted the group chat before the game today. I think Samaje Perine over was easy money. I think Casey might have stolen my bet. That's why he brought it up in the pregame. He stole it from me. The line was like 23.5, I think, and Perine's probably going to get double that if I had to bet. First down and 10 from the Bengals 48-yard line. Burrow moves Chase in motion, then hands it off to him. Chase Brown runs right, gains 2 on the play before being tackled by Tavius Robinson. Second down and 8 now for the Bengals. Motion Iosivas to the top of the screen. Lined up now next to Jamar Chase. Gesicki at the bottom along with Noah Fant. Burrow looks to Gesicki, who finds the soft zone, and he's immediately met by Roquan Smith, but not before he picks up 6, but there's a flag on the play. Brad Allen, the official today. It's going to be illegal use of the hands to the face on the defense. Kyle Hamilton called for the flag. It's an automatic first down, and the Bengals are driving here to begin this first quarter. Kyle Hamilton was lined up opposite Jamar Chase, and as Jamar was looking to release from the line, Hamilton just got his hands a little bit up high. So take the Gesicki reception off the board, but Bengals have the ball inside the Ravens 45, handed off to Samaje Perine on the left. He's got a big hole, gains 6 before being tackled by John Jenkins. Samaje Perine now with a couple carries here on this opening drive. Two for 13 so far. Burrow under center. Motion Jamar Chase. Hand it off to Perine to the left again. Perine fights his way forward. Near the 35, it'll be third down and short. We'll call it a long one. Bengals 5 rushes on this opening drive compared to 2 passing plays. 20 yards on the ground, 29 through the air so far. Burrow will start 3rd and 2 from shotgun. Drew Sample lined up to his right in the backfield. Motion Samaje Perine back into the backfield to Joe Burrow's left. Hand it to Perine. Perine will skirt through the left-hand side of the line, fight his way forward for a first down, and fall forward near the 30. Gain of 5 on the play. And it's another Cincinnati Bengals first down. Stole it, Casey. Stole it. First and 10, 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Bengals ball at the Ravens 31. Burrow under center, motions back now into shotgun. Chase Brown to his left. Burrow back to pass on first down, throws it over the middle to Chase Brown. Catches it and is tackled by Teddy Buchanan. Gain of 6 on the play. Similar to how they started last week's game against the Bills, just a nice, slow, methodical drive. They ate up a lot of clock on last week's opening drive. They're doing it again here in this one. Let's see if I can pull that up really quick. Bengals started with the ball last week. Had a 14-play, 8-minute-plus drive. That drive ended in a touchdown, of course, a 5-yard run by Chase Brown. Burrow looking for Jamar Chase, throws it behind him, and Chase drops it. Hit him in his hands, but it was a poor throw by Burrow. Not sure if he was expecting Jamar Chase to settle down in his zone. He had Marlon Humphrey on him, and he clearly beat him off the line, and Jamar Chase just dropped that one. That was on Jamar. Bengals have had the ball for over 7 minutes already on this drive, and they will burn a timeout. Man, we talked about this on Off the Bench too. The amount of timeouts that we burn, just unnecessary. 3rd and 4, 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter, and there were 3 seconds left on the play clock, and forced to burn a timeout. I just don't get it. Is the MVP going to be the winner of Drake and Josh? Probably. Could potentially see Bo Nix getting some votes. I don't really think that he's like really the reason the Broncos are having the season they're having, though. Matt Stafford always gets overlooked. Yeah, so probably. Ravens started with the ball. They went and had to punt. Bengals now have had the ball for over 7 minutes. Burrow and shotgun, looking to throw on 3rd and 4. He escapes this blitz, but can't find anybody open. He's got to scramble, pick up 1. There is a flag on the play. See what this flag is. Fouls by both teams. Illegal motion and holding on the defense. So we'll have another chance here at 3rd down. Penalties will offset, and it'll be 3rd and 4 again. Third and 4 from the 25. Burrow alone in shotgun. 2 receivers to the left, 3 to the right. Ravens bringing 5, immediately flush Burrow out, and Burrow runs backwards. He loses 17 on the play. He's going to be back tackled at the 42. Tavius Robinson gets the sack, and now the Bengals will have a decision to make. Do they go for a 59-yard field goal, or do they punt it away? In this cold weather, it's not a given what they're going to do. I got to be honest. Burrow's got to get rid of that. That's on Joe. Joe's got to know. Joe's got to get rid of that ball. I mean, he's out of the pocket. Bengals are going to punt. Ball was spotted at their 40-yard line. Rico's punt is a high one, of course. It'll be fair caught at the 15. And the Bengals hold on to the ball for over 8 minutes and come away with no points. Absolutely unacceptable. And that completely falls on Joe Burrow. Man, No, they brought 5. They brought 5. Was it 4? I thought I saw 5. Let's see. Maybe I can go back. No, I can't go back on this. That's the big thing, MB. You got to throw that ball away. No, I'm not. I mean, the O-line has to pick it up, but again, 100% Joe's got to throw that ball away. He's out of the pocket. He just tries to do too much sometimes. If anything, like if there's one thing that I need Joe Burrow to get better at, it is managing those situations. He's got to be better situationally. Like the dude is one of, if not the most talented quarterbacks in the league. He cannot let that happen. It's one thing if you just want to like go down and accept the sack and a loss of like 7 or 8, but you can't run backwards for 17 yards and take your team out of field goal range. The penalty was an illegal motion. It might have been on Joe. I mean, they technically called it against Ja'Marr Chase, but I didn't see what happened to know exactly why. Did Joe snap the ball before 2 men reset? Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's a bad ending to an opening drive. Yeah, can't have rookie mistakes in your 5th year or 6th year or whatever he's in. Needs to be more Manning, Brady, and less Lamar. Yeah. I'll also say though, like Zach passed up a 59-yard field goal attempt on that. 57, really. Evan McPherson clearly has the leg for that. So I both ways. Joe absolutely can't take that sack, and we must not have faith in the kicking game today. The wind isn't blowing super hard from what I understand, so it'll go both ways. We'll see what happens. Ravens start their drive with another handoff to Derrick Henry up the middle. He gained 3 on the play. In their careers, weeks 15 through 18, Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow are a combined 25-0. How about that for a stat? 25-0. Jackson's 15-0. Burrow is 10-0. Burrow throws for 313 a game, while Jackson throws for 208. But that is an insane stat. Weeks 15 through 18, they are 25-0. Jackson under center now. Ricard lined up in front of Derrick Henry, faked the pitch to Henry, and Jackson has nowhere to go, and he is immediately met. Demetrius Knight Jr. coming in on the blitz, picks up the sack of Lamar Jackson, and it'll be 3rd down and 14. Big play for the rookie. Bengals brought 5, and Knight went unblocked on the direction of the bootleg. I don't understand that play design there from the Ravens. That didn't make a whole lot of sense, but nonetheless, we'll take it. 3rd and 15 from the Ravens 9. Jackson alone in shotgun. Dumps it off on the screen pass. And Demetrius Knight Jr. again with the quick tackle. Rasheen Ali had the catch and had nowhere to go. And the Bengals do, in fact, force a 3-and-out on the ensuing drive. This may just be indicative of what this game is going to be. It may be a field position and possession game. Silvani knows. Stout's punt. Be fielded by Charlie Jones at the 45. Jones runs backwards, though, and is tackled at the 43. What is it with Bengals and running backwards? What's up, AJ? Stop running backwards. Bengals will have their second drive of the day at the 43. Adonai Mitchell with a touchdown for the New York Jets. A.D. Mitchell went to New York in the trade for Sauce Gardner. Comes up with another touchdown pass from B. Cook. Who's the quarterback in New York? Who? What? Brady Cook. What did I miss this week? Shout out to Brady Cook, the rookie quarterback from Missouri, getting his first touchdown pass. He's 6 for 6 for 51 yards and a touchdown in his, I assume, first start. Who knew? Meanwhile, Marcus Mariota fumbles, but it looks like the Commanders are going to fall on it. What games are you guys watching today other than the Bengals? Thus began the legend of Brady Cook. Who knew? First quarter almost completed. Ravens have run 9 plays for 9 total yards. Bengals have run 11 for 45 and came away with 0 points. Bills and Pats, Bills in red zone. All valid. All valid. A lot of Buffalo, New England. Yeah, the Lions and Rams game should be good. There's a lot of good games. I went over it earlier, but again, a lot of good games today. If you look at it on paper, Chargers and Chiefs shaping up to be a good one. Bills, Patriots, obviously a really good one. Commanders and Giants is going to be a good game, even though they're both terrible. Look at the Packers and Broncos later today. The Rams and Lions later today. Colts and Seahawks later today. Vikings, Cowboys tonight. All should be good. Uh-oh. Teddy Buchanan was hurt on that punt coverage. We'll see if that affects the Ravens defense moving forward. Joe Burrow and the Bengals back on the field. They start at their own 43. Handed off to Chase Brown up the middle. He's met in the backfield, spins away, and is able to fall forward for 4. Gilman missed him in the backfield, and Brown was able to make something out of nothing. That was a play that could have easily gone for a loss, and instead he picks up 4 yards on the play. We'll call it 3. 2nd and 7. Brown stays next to Burrow in the backfield and shotgun. Ravens. No, end of the first quarter. All right, the end of 1 in Cincinnati. It is 0-0. Bengals drive deep down into Ravens territory on the opening drive, but a 17-yard sack of Joe Burrow takes them out of field goal range. And so we end 1 with a scoreless tie. Meanwhile, Drake May and the Patriots looking to go up 2 scores over the Bills. They have the ball at the 6, handed off to Travion Henderson, and he's got nowhere to go. Met in the backfield, loses a yard or 2. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 7. Mendoza. Can we just talk about how cringe Mendoza's post-game interview was after the Big Ten championship? May now in shotgun all by himself, looking to throw on 2nd and goal. No, he'll scramble right up the middle. Drake May has his 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. Drake May right up the middle. Gives the Patriots a 13-0 lead with the extra point coming. Appreciate you, Panda. I mean, David. Yes, sir. Trying to keep you guys updated across the league. Do my best. Mentioned that Jets touchdown is 14-7 Jaguars there in Jacksonville as the first quarter ends there. Jacoby Myers just had a big pickup to take the Jaguars inside the Jets 35-yard line. Meanwhile, the Texans are up 17. How are the Texans? I think I gave you an update earlier that they were up 10-0. Now it's 17-0. Let's see how they scored this one. Defensive touchdown? How did Houston score their last touchdown? Let's see. Nico Collins, 57 yards. CJ Stroud fumbles at the 1-yard line, recovered by Woody Marks for a touchdown. Man. All right. Well, touchdown's a touchdown. Second quarter about to begin. 2nd and 7 from the 46. Burrow will scramble. He'll slide down right around midfield to bring up 3rd down and 3. He seems like a nice kid. Very cheesy. Very cheesy. But I would rather that than Pavia, or however you say his name. Pavia. I saw I don't think it was real. It couldn't have been real. Did Pavia have a viral post after last night's Heisman? Burrow finds Jamar Chase for a short gain. It's not going to be enough for a first down. It'll be 4th and short, and we'll see what Zach Taylor does here. Chase on the crossing route just was met immediately by the Ravens defender and tackled short. So it'll be 4th down and 2 from the Ravens' 49-yard line. I don't think I like going for it here. I think they'll pick it up, but like, if this is truly a game of field position and you just punted from the 40, then okay. Did we false start or did the Ravens jump? Kyle Van Noy's pointing at the Bengals offensive line, and the Bengals offensive line is pointing at Kyle Van Noy. And it looks like they're going to call it on Kyle Van Noy. Offsides, free first down for the Bengals. I wonder if they were even going to run a play there. What do you think? You think that was one of those classic, let's just draw an offsides, and if we don't, then we'll take the delay of game penalty? And I don't know that they were actually going to run a play there. I bet Zach Taylor was going to take a delay of game and punt it away. But instead, it's 1st and 10. Burrow under center. Chase Brown deep. The handoff goes to Chase Brown up the middle, and he's got a big gain, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, and gets pushed forward by his offensive line near the first down marker. They will, in fact, give him a first down for a first down. Time of possession in this one is heavily favoring the Bengals so far. Well, I think he slid down. It's all right. We'll allow Joe to slide. DJ Moore with the touchdown in Chicago. Handed off to Chase Brown again on the left side. He'll take it down inside the 30-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 5. Mention it real quick, but DJ Moore with a short touchdown pass from Caleb Williams. For a Chicago touchdown. Meanwhile, the Jaguars have the ball at the 15. Bears lead the Browns 14-0 now. Burrow from shotgun, looking to pass. Throws deep down the left sideline. Chase is held up, but no flag on the play. He can't catch up with the ball, and it'll fall incomplete 3rd and 5. Chase had man coverage on the left side against Nate Wiggins, and it looked like they got tied up a little bit as Chase was running past him, but didn't get the flag, and Malachi Starks' assistance wasn't in time, but Burrow just overthrew him, at least based on Chase being held up. Burrow thought he had a touchdown there. Teddy Buchanan is officially out with a knee injury. That's a big loss for this Baltimore defense. Burrow back to pass again on 3rd and 5. Throws it over the middle. It's high, and it's tipped by Jamar Chase and then picked off by Humphrey. Marlon Humphrey brings it back out past the 30, out to the 34. And the Ravens will take over, and yet another Bengals drive ends without points. Burrow tried to get Jamar Chase over the middle. It was just too high and tipped off of Chase's fingertips and right to Marlon Humphrey. There were 3 Ravens around Jamar Chase on that play, but Jamar Chase had space and could have been a catch, but instead it will go off his fingertips and to the Ravens. Ugh. What a frustrating start to this game. Unreal, man. It looked like he might have jumped too soon. I thought the same thing. I couldn't tell. Is that a touchdown in Washington? Yep. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. Bill into the end zone for the Commanders. They'll go up 10-0 over the Giants. I'm not going to say Chase is garbage today. Definitely 2 catchable balls that he didn't come down with, though. I mean, we're not spamming him. He's got 3 targets on the game. Oh, man. You guys are really angry already, huh? No, neither offense wants to win this game. Man, Jamar Chase was open. It just hit off his fingers. That is true, John. We do not have a good football team. And I don't think that Joe is having fun. No, I don't think it was a bad throw. I don't think it was a good throw per se. Honestly, if he catches it, it might be a hospital ball, if we're being honest. Like, he was surrounded by Ravens, including one in front of him. Well, you don't have to worry about that. We're not going to the playoffs, so not worried about that. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. I think Chase knows he should have had that one. But Ravens will take over at their own 35. Handoff is to Keaton Mitchell. Bounce his way through the line of scrimmage and then find his way to a gain of 8. Yeah, that's a ball that Burrow's got to make a better pass and Jamar Chase has got to come down with. Simple as that. Simple as that. Hand it to Mitchell again on the right side. This time he's got room to go. He's down past the 50, past the 40, and he runs out of bounds around the 45-yard line. 35-yard line, sorry. I feel you, Nate. I feel you. Trey McBride into the end zone for the Cardinals. One of the best tight ends in the game in just his, second season? 1 yard touchdown for the tight end. Hand it to Mitchell again. This time he's met at the line of scrimmage by Oren Burks. He'll fall forward for a gain of 1, but that'll be it. Trey McBride now 16 consecutive games with at least 5 receptions, the longest such streak by a tight end in the history of the game. How about that? He's got 5 for 47 and a touchdown already today. Wild. 2nd and 8 from just outside the 40-yard line. Jackson in shotgun. Keaton Mitchell to his left. Jackson back to pass. He throws right. Zay Flowers bobbles it, and then the Bengals come up with it. Did Jordan Battle get that? He's celebrating like he did. They're saying he did. Jordan Battle gets the drop by Zay Flowers, and the Bengals take it back. Did he catch it? It never hit the ground. Wow. That was not a clean catch by any stretch of the imagination, but it never hit the ground. Jordan Battle with the catch. And the Bengals get it right back. Keaton Mitchell gashed him for a couple of long runs on the drive, but Zay Flowers dropped it. And how about that? Each team's number 1 receiver respectively drops a pass and ends up with the other team with an interception. How about that? We talked about a game of attrition between the Commanders and Giants. How about a game of attrition between the Ravens and Bengals? I'm a negative commentator? I don't know about that. I guess it's too cold to catch it. Or maybe we should run the ball more. We should be up at least 6. Yeah, at least. No, I don't think Burrow's playing scared of getting hurt. I wish he would play more scared, if I'm being honest. Throw that ball away on the last play and or in the last drive, and we wouldn't have had that issue, or 2 drives ago. Oh, no way, David. No way. Didn't touch grass. Are they even reviewing it? I don't think so. Yeah, they're not even reviewing it. It was definitely an interception. Even if it touched grass, he had possession. 3 straight runs, huh? All right, we'll see. Jordan Battle's okay. Look, I think Jordan Battle could be a safety moving forward. Like, I do believe that he could have a spot on this roster, but I think him being next to Geno Stone kind of exposes him a little bit, makes the safety room look worse. Geno Stone's playing a little bit better of late. I think Jordan Battle's had an okay year, but definitely missed tackles, but makes it look worse when both of your safeties are that bad. Jordan Battle is one of just 2 safeties in the top 20 in the NFL in tackles this year. That's not a good stat. Not a good stat. The other one, Jeremy Chin of Las Vegas. So that should tell you a little bit. Handoff is to Chase Brown. Runs right. Flag on the play. Brown will pick up 3, but we'll check the flag to see what happened. In the area of offensive holding. Oh, illegal formation. 82 not on the line of scrimmage. That's Mitchell Tinsley. So bring it back 5 yards. And the ugliness continues. We'll hand it to Chase Brown again on the left side, breaks one tackle, then fights his way through a murder of Ravens. Is that right? Murder of Ravens? Is that what we decided? Can't remember. Picks up a nice chunk. They're reporting now on Zay Flowers and his cold fingers. Oh, poor guy. Poor guy's got cold fingers. 2nd and 9. Burrow looking to pass on 2nd down. Throws deep over the middle. He's got a man. And Yoshi couldn't hold on. Oh. Burrow had Andrei Iosivas and Malachi Starks broke it up at the last minute. But yet another ball that this receiving core should have come down with that just didn't happen. Gosh. So it'll be 3rd and 9. Samaje Perine into the game at running back. Ravens showing blitz. 7 at the line. They'll drop back 3. Only 4 come. Burrow looking to throw. Dumps it off to Drew Sample. He's got room to go. Can he get the first down? No. It'll be 4th down and 2 at the 35-yard line, and the Bengals will punt. Or will they? They will. And a penalty and a drop derail the drive. Ooh, golly. Had Jamar Chase open deep down the field. Rico will punt. Oh, not a good punt. Short line drive. It'll take a little bit of a Bengals bounce, but it'll come to a stop around the 21-yard line, and the Ravens will take over there. 44-yard punt for Rico. Murder of crows. Flock of ravens. Unkindness of ravens. Ooh, how about that? Congress of ravens. So many options. Murders geese? No, murders crows. I think crows is right. Yeah, it must be because there's a lot of drops. What a day for Reed Mouse. Gets a Drew Sample catch, and he's got his baby shower going on right now. I mean, the man's living a dream. By every stretch of the imagination, this Bengals team is dominating this game, and yet here we are. It is 0-0 halfway through the second quarter. Total yards are 81-34. Ravens just 2.6 yards per play, and obviously a big chunk of that is Keaton Mitchell's long run on that last drive. $34 total yards, 15 of which came on one carry. I am down like 115 pounds ish. Yep, Joe missed him. Chase was open. John. I can't read that one on the stream, but I see you. It's like the who was it? Lance McAllister video, or no, it might have been Mo talking about how everyone's going to talk about how cold it was, and then everybody that's old enough is going to say, "Oh, this is nothing." You had the Ice Bowl back in '89 or whatever it was. Why is Yoshi not benched? Because T. Higgins is hurt. Which is another thing that we got to talk about. I mean, T. Higgins not being in this game is huge, but it is what it is. Lamar Jackson will start under center at the 21-yard line. He'll fake the handoff to Derrick Henry and look to throw. Pressure coming, scrambles away, scrambles again, gets past the line of scrimmage, and he's got the first down and then falls down at the 35. Good coverage by the Bengals secondary, and Bengals front got pressure, but Jackson escaped it and was able to pick up the first down. Looked like Miles Murphy, yet again with pressure, got past or pushed Ricard right into Jackson and just couldn't come up with it. And then TJ Slayton with a diving effort couldn't come up with him and finally fell down after a long gain. Now DeAndre Hopkins is open and in the space. Jordan Battle finally brings him down after another long gain for this Ravens. I don't like the way the last two drives have gone for the Ravens. 14-yard run starts with Jackson and now a 32-yard catch to DeAndre Hopkins. And just like that, they're into Bengals territory. Meanwhile, Trevion Henderson breaks one off. Long touchdown run for the New England rookie. Jackson hands it to Henry. Henry up the middle, met immediately. Chris Jenkins on the stop, gain of 3 on the play. 57-yard touchdown for Henderson. Did I start him in my fantasy league? I'm sure I did. Surely I did, right? I did not. It's a guillotine league, so it is what it is. But I started James Cook, Quinshon Judkins, and Travis Etienne, and Trevion Henderson on my bench up over 15 points. Hooray. Nice play. Jordan Battle coming up in the run to support and stuffs him at the line of scrimmage, 3rd and 7. Keaton Mitchell had nowhere to go on that one. A nice play by Jordan Battle. Third and 7 now for the Ravens. Jackson looking to throw. Dumps it off. He's got the first down and more to Ali. Ali all the way to the end zone, and he'll go in all untouched. Rasheen Ali. 30-yard touchdown. Untouched. Yeah, it was a guillotine. Extra point is up and good for Tyler Loop, and the Ravens lead 7-0. Just absolutely nobody around Ali, and Dax Hill couldn't get there in time, and Ali skirts into the end zone. Man. Nate, I don't know if you saw or not. I made the comment on off the bench this week. Joe's comments might have been alluding to some sort of change with Zach. I don't know if a lot of people agree with me on that, but like, I think Joe likes playing for Zach. I think he's a good dude, but I think he wants to win more than anything. And I think he's finally starting to realize that like winning is what's fun for him. And so maybe that means there needs to be a change, and maybe he's been supportive of Zach in the future, but he might be recognizing a need for a change, and maybe that starts with Zach. I guess we'll see. I don't know. But Burrow is definitely over it. That is not a question. He is over losing. Just a matter of what sort of changes they're willing to make in order to make that happen. Fairbairn with another 50-plus yard field goal makes the Texans 20-7 leaders over the Cardinals. Meanwhile, Jake Moody sends one up and in for the Commanders to go up 13-0 over the Giants. And the Bears, they miss a 35-yard field goal. It'll stay 14-0. I don't hate him. I mean, I just don't think he's... At this point, I just don't think he's the answer, right? And like, a lot of people give him a ton of credit for the offense, and rightfully so. I mean, but he's got a ton of weapons, and I'm just not sure that like he's the reason. Like that's the conversation: is how much is Zach Taylor the reason for the offensive success? Probably a little bit, because he's the one drafting all the offensive weapons, but like he's also the reason this defense is trash, because it is a personnel problem. Are you talking Jamar Chase or Chase Brown? Jamar Chase run screens? I don't know. There was like one game where they threw them like 10 screens, and then they haven't done it since. Charlie Jones is tackled at the 21 on the kickoff by Ojabo. David Ojabo in special teams coverage. Bengals will take over at the 21. 100% Lane. He did choke. I agree. I don't know how much of it was his fault. I said that too. Like, I don't know. Whatever. Playoffs are over. Let's get through the year. Burrow and shotgun. Chase Brown's, or that's Samaje Perine, starts to his right. They'll hand it to Perine, and Perine's got another big hole up the middle, gains 7 before being brought down by Roquan Smith. Second round draft pick, 45th overall. But yes, he still gets snaps on defense too. But yeah, second round pick on special teams. Not hearing his name anywhere else. Not ideal. Burrow and shotgun on 2nd and 4. Fake the handoff to Perine. Burrow throws left. He's got Jamar Chase on the sidelines for a first down. Nate Wiggins on the coverage. Gain of 7 or 8 on the play. It'll be 1st and 10 at the Bengals 36. Burrow under center now. 6 seconds on the play clock, and they're going to burn another timeout. Burrow didn't like what he saw, I guess, and decided he needed to have a little conversation. Looked like Jamar Chase was pointing out that he was in man coverage, and Burrow saw that and was going to audible, but then realized he didn't have enough time. Like, what was that? Was that Burrow? Was that just didn't like what he saw? Was that he liked what he saw, but then didn't have enough time to get back? Like, what was that? That was awkward. Awkward. It's still early in fantasy. Don't give up yet. Burrow hands it off to Chase Brown up the middle. Brown picks up 4 out to the 40. It'll be 2nd and 6. For what it's worth, I'm down 49-14 right now. But I still have a 44% chance to win in the first round of the playoffs. I'm going up against Henderson in this league and Drake May. Hooray. And I picked up the Buccaneers defense this week thinking that they would have a good week. Nope, -3. Thanks, Bucks. 2nd and 6 from the Bengals 40-yard line. Burrow looking to pass. Dumps it off on the screen to Chase Brown. One man to beat, but Wiggins gets him, and Chase Brown falls forward. Is it enough for a first down? It is. Gain of 6 on the play will give the Bengals another first down out at the 46. Guillotine, on the other hand, not looking good. Not looking good. Ooh, Browns. Isaiah Bond, 42-yard reception. 2-minute warning. Oh, my God. This game is just, like, crawling. I mean, I know it's only been an hour, but, like, it just feels like nothing is happening. My guillotine team currently has 12 points. Projected to be eliminated by 20 points. James Cook has 4.1. Judkins only 0.9. Jamar Chase 5.9. ETN 1.7. How about this? I benched Justin Jefferson this week. Is that a touchdown for the Eagles? Yep, Saquon Barkley into the end zone. That'll give me some points on the ESPN Work League. We didn't use our last time out, AJ. It was the 2-minute warning. I don't think the speech was cringe. I think his interview post Big Ten championship was cringe. His Heisman acceptance speech was what you'd expect. Like, there was no real emotion in it, which is kind of a little weird, but no, in general, it was whatever. Yeah, seems like a nice enough guy. Quick update from around the league. Bears lead the Browns 14-0 at the 2-minute warning. Chiefs lead the Chargers 10-3. Patriots up 21-0 over the Bills. They got a touchdown from Travion Henderson and 2 rushing touchdowns from Drake May. Commanders up 13-0 over the Giants. Eagles just got a touchdown from Saquon Barkley to go up 17-0 on the Raiders. Jaguars up 21-7 on the Jets. Texans up 20-7 on the Cardinals. And James Cook finds the end zone on a screen pass from Josh Allen, the new expecting father. Him and Haley Steinfeld announced this week that they are expecting their first child. Dumps it off to James Cook for a little screen play touchdown from 6 yards out. And that'll help my guillotine odds. Maybe not a ton, but something. Give me those points. Yeah. Is that Devin Singletary? No, Tyrone Tracy into the end zone for the Giants to cut the Commanders' lead in half as we're back in action under the 2-minute warning. Handed off to Samaje Perine for a short gain on the left side. Falls on the back of Noah Fant, who's gingerly getting up and hopping to the sideline. Fant looks like he's unable to put any weight on that right leg as he finds his way to the sideline. Rolled up on the back of by Perine. It'll be 2nd and 9, 1:30 to go. Burrow back to pass. Throws it left. Short, intended for Jamar Chase. And they'll get a roughing the passer flag. No, they'll get a holding on the offense. Ugh. Travis Jones was worried that he was getting hit for a roughing the passer, but instead it's going to be a holding call on Orlando Brown Jr. Jets get a field goal to make it 21-10 in Jacksonville. Oh, they called that a hold? If anything, it's illegal hands to the face. That's not a hold. Nonetheless, push the ball back to the Bengals 38. 2nd and 19 now. Last time they had it 2nd and long, they were able to convert. Burrow looking to pass. Over the middle. And it's incomplete, broken up by Gilman, intended for Hudson. Man, this Bengals offense has done nothing in the last 4 drives. Ravens lead 7-0. Minute 20 to play in the first half. 3rd and 19 now for the Bengals. They'll motion Perine. Nope. Chase Brown into the backfield. We'll see if they just run a classic draw play. No. Burrow back to pass. Wanted to dump it off to Chase Brown, but he was knocked off his horse by Dermont Jones before he could get anywhere. And another flag on the play. Looks like maybe they're going to get a roughing the passer this time. Draymond Jones wiping his eyes like he's crying. No. Flags in the secondary. And it's pass interference on the Bengals. Oh, my God. So the flag will be declined, and it'll be 4th down and 19, and the Bengals will punt it away. Minute 13 and all 3 timeouts, and the Ravens are about to get the ball back. Flag was on Drew Sample. It wasn't a hard hit, but it was late. He definitely had time to slow up there. I understand why the Bengals are upset with that. That's a false start on us. They didn't throw the flag, though. Rico's punt will go into the end zone, and your NFL leader in touchbacks will get yet another one. Am I overreacting? This is a terrible half from this offense. 0 flow. Turnovers. Rough. There's a tweet from Pro Football Talk. The Bengals didn't remove snow from the seats today, which is apparently a violation of league policy. Can this Bengals organization do anything right? Each home club is responsible for having a snow removal plan in place and ensuring that its stadium has adequate snow removal equipment available. Snow and ice must be removed from the stadium before all games. This applies to the playing field, sidelines, seating bowl, aisles, pedestrian ramps, walkways, parking lots, etc. This also applies to the sidelines. Snow may not be pushed into piles and remain against stadium walls. Oh, man. When the Bengals were reached for comment, they said seat aisles were prioritized and are in good shape. Seats are easily wiped off and ushers are equipped to help there. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. I love this organization. Oh, boy. Yes, Burrow, 7 of 13 for 60 yards and an INT in the first half. If you throw in that one sack for negative 15 yards, he's got net 45 yards passing in the first half. I saw a video of they had one snowblower in the stands, in the club seats. That was it. Is Drake May hurt? I don't know what's going on in New England. All right, here we go. Minute 5. Ravens have the ball at their own 20-yard line, all 3 timeouts. Lamar Jackson looking to pass. Throwing deep down the right side and caught by Zay Flowers at the 46. Ravens will run hurry up. No, they'll call a timeout. Yeah, big win for UK over Indiana this week, last night. Doesn't look like they hired anybody to remove the snow from the seats. No. Yeah, Burrow not playing well this time. That was not a good throw from Lamar. I got to lock in here. Bengals need a turnover. At least hold them to no points. "56 seconds to go." They officially put 7 seconds back on the clock for the Ravens. Just what they needed. Ball at the 46. Jackson looking left. Flushed out of the pocket now. He's chased by 3 Bengals, make it 4 Bengals. Multiple flags on the play as he runs out of bounds after a gain of 12. Looked like they were in the realm of illegal contact, but let's see. Offsides. Offsides, penalty declined. Was called on Joseph Osai for lining up in the neutral zone, and he was, in fact, lined up in the neutral zone. But I thought the referee threw his hat afterwards, too. So was that just a wide receiver going out of bounds? What was that? Was that not another flag? 49 seconds now, ball at the Bengals 42. Fake the toss, throw deep down the right sideline. He had a man, he missed him. Bounced, oh my God. Bounced off of DJ Turner's face, then off of Mark Andrews' hands and fell incomplete. I think DJ Turner was expecting Mark Andrews to go up and get that one, and Andrews just tipped it enough to hit it off of Juan Drago's face. Bengals have had 2 opportunities for turnovers here now on this drive and have capitalized on neither one of them. Ben Riley with the super chat. Appreciate you. I'll read it in just a second. 43 seconds left here. Jackson back to pass, looking left. Throwing over the middle. It's a screen pass to Ali. There's a flag on the play yet again. It looks like they're going to get Jordan Battle this time for holding or illegal contact. Ben Riley, if we had... now we got a scuffle, and the referee got knocked down. Brad Allen is down. He threw a flag. Somebody either made contact accidentally or on purpose, but you may have an ejection here. We'll see what it was. Osai and Fa'alele looked like they were getting into it. And Brad Allen threw his flag from the ground. Ben said, if we had pressers after lovemaking, I bet Zach would say we just couldn't find her. Oh, my God. Oh, Stanley and Osai getting into it. Osai standing over him. Oh, Ronnie Stanley ran into the ref. I wonder if he's going to get ejected here. Stanley came in to clean up the pile with Osai. I bet Stanley's ejected on this. He made contact with that official. Stanley trying to pump up the crowd. I hate to break it to you, brother. You're about to get ejected. Fouls by both teams. Nope. They're not going to eject anybody. They're not even going to call. They called the offensive penalty on 58, which was Joseph Osai. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know what happened there. Nonetheless, offsetting penalties. So we'll play second down again. 2nd and 10 from the 42. So here we go. 36 seconds on the clock. Ravens looking to score again before halftime. They're up 7-0. Bengals get the ball in the second half. Jackson looking to throw to the left. He's got Mark Andrews, who's got the ball down inside the 25, inside the 30 to the 27. Ravens will call their second timeout with 29 seconds left. Jordan Battle in coverage brought down Andrews right away, but Andrews able to make the catch. Meanwhile, Tyler Loop warming up for a potential field goal try here before the end of the half. Lamar Jackson, 6 of 8 for 108 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. 29 seconds left, 1st and 10 from the Bengals 28. Ravens in scoring position. You'll see how they attack this. Jackson throwing deep to the left side for the end zone, and Zay Flowers is there wide open. Got behind Geno Stone, and the Ravens go up 2 scores. Man, I got to be honest with you. It just feels like the interceptions last week against the Bills just kind of knocked any will out of the Bengals team here, and they've got nothing go for them. Extra point up and good, and the Ravens lead 14-0 with 23 seconds left. We'll see if the Bengals try to do anything offensively. They obviously get the ball back in the second half, so if they can get in field goal range here with their 1 timeout, it would be something. They're showing the replay now of DJ Turner's missed interception. Really appreciate that. Barrett Carter was putting pressure on Jackson during that touchdown pass, and DJ Turner thought it was a out route, but instead Flowers broke it upfield, and Geno Stone couldn't lend help. I don't know if Juan Drago thought that was an out route or if he was just in a medium zone on the outside, but nonetheless, Ravens' last 2 drives, 159 yards and 2 touchdowns after just 34 yards on their first 3 drives. I guess Zay Flowers' fingers are warmed up. Loop's kickoff will go towards Taj Brooks. He'll field it at the 10. Brooks will bring it up the left sideline. He's got room all the way out to the 38-yard line where he's tackled and brought down. The Bengals will have to get 30 yards in 18 seconds with 1 timeout in order to get some points on the board before half. Yeah, angry is not the word at this point, right? Like, I don't even know if disappointed is the word anymore. Like, I'm just apathetic. I don't know. They must not like Tyson Anderson at all. All right, we'll see what the Bengals do here. 1st and 10 from the 38. Burrow looking to throw. Looking to throw deep. Got no one open. And he throws it away. 12 seconds left on the clock. Zach lost the locker room. I won't read the rest of that, but I do think that this is it just feels like the end of the era, right? Like, fan base is apathetic, team not really showing a whole lot of effort. Just doesn't feel a whole lot of positivity around the organization. So we'll see. Make sure you step for the halftime show. Casey McAllister and Andrew Collinsworth. Burrow will throw it out to Jamar Chase. He'll get out of bounds at the 49 with 7 seconds left. Commanders get a return touchdown by Lane. Go up 20-7 over the Giants. Yep, punt return. All right, here we go. What do the Bengals do? 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. I imagine you got to get at least 11 yards to try a field goal here. Somewhere in that range. 7 seconds, and you got your timeout, so you can throw it over the middle if you want. Baltimore is going to burn their last timeout first. Oh, they missed the extra point. Jake Moody with a missed extra point after missing a field goal earlier. Not a good look for the Commanders. Well, Jacoby Brissett finds Trey McBride for a big gain. Ravens defense has played well, but the Bengals offense has not played well at all. Well, I mean, normally I agree with you, Seth, but when you get the ball back with 13 seconds left and not a whole lot of opportunity for touchdowns in that situation, but we'll see. 7 seconds. Bengals have the whole field to play with a timeout. Got to throw it, though. Throws it towards Chase. It doesn't look like he's going to come up with it, and the Bengals are going to have 1 second left to do what with? Incomplete. Ball was low for Chase. Yep, went right through his hands. Oh, Jamar. Jamar not having a good game. Joe not having a good game. Defense not having a good game. So what do you do? Running a Hail Mary, it looks like. Burrow will drop back to pass. He'll have time. Nope, he won't. He'll get sacked. And that'll end the half. Mike Green, the rookie out of Marshall, will sack Burrow. And that'll end the first half. 14-0 is your score. Ravens lead. We'll send it back to the studios, quote unquote. Casey McAllister, Andrew Collinsworth for your halftime show. I'll be back in the second half. I can't wait. We'll see you in just a minute.
All right, Andrew. That was tough. That's as simple as that. That final bit there kind of summed it up and how I feel about this game. Just from the very get, it felt like the offense just couldn't get anything going. The interception really kind of sealed it mentally, I feel like, for them. I don't know why it felt like that, but that first drive was 8 minutes and 20 seconds for the Bengals. They only had 40 yards on the play. 40. And they had to punt it away on a stupid Joe Burrow sack. I know Craig was really harping on him about those situations, and I couldn't agree more. He's got to learn to not take those sacks so we can get points, so we can get a lead early. Defense came out to play at the beginning of this game, and then just things have slowly snowballed into what they are now. Joe's not had a good day. Jamar's not had a good day. And when those two aren't working, the offense looks miserable. You can't expect this defense to hold Lamar and Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers to under 14 points. I think that's you're asking a lot out of this defense to have a fantastic day. But 14 points isn't like the end of the world. You were expecting to score some, and we didn't score anything. I mean, it's quite frankly kind of embarrassing. I don't mean to be a little ranty in this mid in the halftime show here, but it just it really feels like those comments that Burrow made earlier on, they have definitely made their way into this locker room now. I mean, they get down early and it's just like, we throw an interception, game's over. We give up a touchdown here, we'll just lay down now. Like, it just feels very very blah at the moment.
Yeah, and you talked about this, but I have never seen the tandem of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase play worse in a half of football collectively. They might have had individual halves where one of them didn't play well or the other didn't play well, but together it has been some of the worst that I've seen them play. Obviously, they're not on the same page. Jamar with the drop pass on the throw that's a little bit behind him, and then what happens on the next play or two plays later, Burrow takes a 15-yard sack, pushes them out of field goal range. Okay, so there's two plays right there that you look at that and you're like, wow, they're not on the same page. Then obviously Jamar, I think, mistimed his jump on a little bit of a high throw, but how many times does he make that catch? I'd say 95 out of 100. And he mistimes his jump. Maybe he thought it was coming in hotter than it was. Gets tipped up, interception. It has been a breakdown, really, especially in that second quarter of all facets. The special teams hasn't been great either. Charlie Jones goes down with an injury. Punter Ricow is not very good today. So it's been tough. It's been a tough watch. Like you said, the comments are really coming to fruition now. And it's, the thing is, though, you would expect it to be somewhat of a defense letting him down kind of thing. But really, Joe's not doing himself any favors. And I have a feeling that he's going to come out and play a much better second half. But the big question now, is it going to be too little too late? And I think it is. And this might be the final, we said it probably after every loss this season. Is this the final straw for Zach Taylor? Well, this really seems like it, with the comments earlier this week, a potential blowout victory for the Ravens today if the Bengals don't get on track here offensively. This could really be it. And if it's not it, and they somehow pull off a win, or they lose and it's not, and they still keep them around, then I don't think we can ever take this organization seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I even have it listed right here. I don't know if you saw this tweet yet, Andrew.
I did. I saw it.
The Bengals are currently in trouble with the league because they didn't clear off the seats. They didn't clear off the snow off the seats, Andrew. They can't even do the organizational practices right. They are from top to bottom a joke right now. I'm going to try to calm down because I will start getting a little too ranty for a halftime show. I got to save that for the post game. I mean, it just, things have got to change, man. They've got to change. It really, early on, I won't lie, I was seeing the things that we were talking about. It really did feel like the defense was coming out to play. Demetrius Knight with 2 back-to-back really good plays. Miles Murphy getting that sack. I was like, okay, defense came out ready to play just like we had hoped they would. And I just can't believe the ineptitude on the offensive side. And I think that's truly a testament to Zach Taylor losing this locker room. I think before, that's been his flag in this whole thing, where he could plant his flag and say, yes, this is why I deserve to coach this team. This offense is a top 5 offense when I'm coaching, when I'm doing the play calls. Zach, today, I think you've got a total, if I can pull this up in the team stats here, they have a total of 112 yards on the day. It's just not good enough. It's not good enough. Thank you for updating those stats, by the way, Craig. Joe Burrow, 8 of 16, 71 yards and an interception, just not good enough. We were running the ball kind of efficiently, not efficiently. It was hit or miss. It would be 2 yards here, and then it would be 8 yards there. It's just not consistent enough to lean on. And of course, we already talked about Jamar not having a great day either. The rest of the crew surrounding him, we had a drop from Yoshi. I don't feel like the tight ends have really gotten all that open in this game. And when they did get open, Joe Burrow's missing them. It's just, it's an off day for the crew. And again, to harp back on the comments, it's getting to these guys, man. Whether we like it or not, losing the way that we've been losing and the way that this organization runs, it's got to change, or else things are only going to get worse. Plan for the second half, Andrew. I don't even pull their heads out their ass. Sorry for cursing on the show, but that's literally all that you can do at this point. Joe can't miss those wide open receivers, and Jamar can't drop a ball. Defense, stay high. You gotta stay disciplined. You can't drop an interception, DJ. Every facet of every level has had a mistake today that has really cost this team, at least in the first half. I don't know what your thoughts are on a plan for the second half, but at this moment, I don't feel comfortable with any plan.
Yeah. Well, I'm an emotional fan. I'm not going to get past that. That's just how I am. And so 8 minutes ago at the end of the first half, I was probably going to come on here. And if you asked me that, I probably would have said the game's over, the season's over, pack it in. But now that I've had just a little bit of time to cool off, I do remember that Joe Burrow is the quarterback of this team. And that when he's playing quarterback, they will always have a shot. And so I have some faith that there is he has that takeover mode. He really does, where he can flip a switch sometimes and, carry a team on his back. Now, does that mean that they're going to win? No, but I think that if he comes out and just, he can put his foot down and put a stop to this, really. I truly believe that he can. And if he does, then it's going to be a 1-possession game coming down to the very last play. Now there's a chance, we've talked about the comments already so many times today, but there is a chance that the whole team just rolls over, including himself, and that this thing gets really ugly. In terms of what a plan that Zach Taylor might have, I'm not sure what he can really do. And I'm not talking like necessarily that he can't motivate these guys, but like what adjustments have they made in the past that have really shown that they are going to be better in the second half? Most of the time, this defense plays much better in the first half than the second half. So from that standpoint, I'm not having much faith in them being able to stop Lamar in that offense again. And then to get the offense going, like I didn't think that there was really anything wrong with the play calls necessarily. Like the offense just isn't playing well. It's hard passing conditions today, really. Like it's just going to be tough for them to move the ball. So I'm not sure exactly what he's going to have to do, but he's got to get these guys motivated to play in the second half. It was very flat football, especially in that second quarter. And this is kind of a big point in the season right now because this team is either going to fall apart at the cracks or they're going to come together and be able to rally. And I'm not talking about, getting to the playoffs. I'm just talking about for the sanity of this team, for keeping the continuity of this group with Jamar and Joe and T. Like this era of Bengals football could be coming to an end with a loss today, especially an ugly one.
Right. I don't disagree with that. I think if we're trying to pull something out of nothing right now, you got to be better on third down. They're 1-6 on third down, and that really is those are the money downs, right? Those are the plays you cannot make a mistake. Those are the plays that Joe Burrow can't be running behind for 10 yards and then get a massive sack. Those are the plays where Jamar running down the field wide open, you miss him, or Mike Gesicki, you miss him, or Jamar dropping a ball. Those are the money downs. If anything, we need these guys to just play at a high level on third down to get the offense going again. I'm looking here. Both teams are rushing for about the same amount right now. 68 yards for the Ravens, 63 for the Bengals. Ravens rushed 12 times. We've rushed 14 times. I know when you're down 14-0, it's not usually the MO of the Bengals to run the ball, but I do think in order to help the defense, you need to keep possession. You need to have long drives, the 8-minute drives. You need those, and you need to convert touchdowns on those drives. You can't afford to stall out in the red zone. You got to find a way to punch it in. So if this team wants to claw their way back in, they need to keep possession for as long as they can, keep the Ravens offense off the field, play well on the money downs, and again, let's get our heads out of our butt and play good football, right? Let's stop making
I'm
mistakes.
with you, man. Yeah, it might take a lot here in the second half, but some delusional part of me still has a little bit of faith as long as Nine's back there slinging it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we've seen crazier things. We've seen crazier things from Joe Burrow. Yeah. I still can't believe, though, that the seats thing, that's
yeah. How inept are we that we can't take care of something as simple as that? Like, that is unbelievable.
I don't know if Mike knew this, but my brother-in-law who was here, he stayed over and he had to clean his car off from the snow. He already had to clear off a car that was covered in snow and ice, and I don't think he wants to go to the game having to chip away the ice off of his nice seat in the lower bowl, man. I think he would like you to at least clear a path for him to get to the seat at least. I don't even know if they did that, to be honest with you. It's just tough, man.
I hope that the league puts.
I do think the game is coming back here, so I didn't realize the game was coming back. So I'm gonna throw it back to Craig. And you have any final words, Andrew?
None.
All right, Craig, good sir, take it away.
All right, Taj Brooks returned the opening kickoff of the second half out to the 25-yard line. Bengals take over there. Joe Burrow hands it off to Chase Brown, who runs right, picks up 3 before he's being tackled and brought down there. Both offensively and, quite frankly, defensively at the end. Big difference was just the inability to make plays. Joe Burrow sacked for a 17-yard loss, had to punt it away. Jamar Chase couldn't make a catch and ended up with a turnover. Just not a good first half. 3 punts and interception, and then the end of the half for the 5 Bengals offensive drives in the first half. Back goes it downfield. He's got Jamar Chase open. He's past the 50 into the 40, and then he's pushed out of bounds there at the 38. Jamar Chase with a big gain on second down. Gain of 34 for the Bengals wide receiver, and we'll need Jamar Chase to step it up here in the second half if we expect to come back and win this game. Couple of super chats from so far. Appreciate you all, and certainly appreciate it. We'll do our best to get you on the broadcast when we can. Burrow hands it off to Chase Brown up the middle. Gain of 1, tackled there, nothing more. Ben Riley with the super chat. This annoys me. Ravens are a conspiracy, not a flock. My bad, Ben. My bad. They what? They didn't clear the seats? WTF, we're your fans. That's like not showering before a date. Not good. Not good. And then Fuzzy Balls. The highlight of the first half was a Miles Murphy sack. That's not exactly a big highlight, is it? Not exactly the type of highlight we're looking for. Burrow out of shotgun in 2nd and 8, looking to pass. He's got Jamar Chase out of the backfield. Gain of 4, tackled there immediately by Kyle Hamilton. I didn't see. Third and 4. Bengals 32, the Ravens 32-yard line. Joe Burrow looking to pass. Flushed out of the pocket. He's got to throw it away. Are they going to get him for intentional grounding? Burrow pointing down the field like he had a receiver. Kyle Van Noy on the pressure, ran a stunt, came basically unblocked by Dalton Reisner, and doesn't look like they're going to throw a flag, but now the refs are getting together. Are they getting help from New York? You can't get help from New York on that, can you? What are we doing? What are we doing? All right. Passer was out of the tackle box and the ball made it beyond the line. No intentional grounding. Let's go. What a waste of time. Let's go. 11:55 in the third. Bengals going for it on 4th and 4, at least lining up for it. Jamar Chase in the slot on the left. Motion Gesicki wide left. Pirine to Burrow's right. Burrow checking out of the play. Looking to pass. Jamar Chase, no. They're going to go deep to Gesicki, and Gesicki tries a one-handed catch, and he can't come down with it, and the Bengals will turn it over on downs. Gesicki was covered by 3 Ravens. Jamar Chase was coming across the middle of the field. Had a first down. What are we doing? Bad decision by Burrow. Bad read, bad read, bad read. He had Jamar Chase on a crossing route past the first down markers, but instead wanted to go for it all, but threw it into double or triple coverage. Like, just this is it's just very similar to the sack in the first half. Sometimes you just have to like take what the defense gives you. Bills trying to make a comeback in New England. They trail 24-14. They have the ball now with 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Chase was open. He beat his defender. Was crossing across the middle. I said he had Jamar Chase as he was throwing it. I thought he was just going to throw it over the middle of Jamar, and then he threw it downfield. I'm sighing a lot today, aren't I? Sighing a lot. Yeah, he's getting pressured a lot, but he's been pressured his entire career. That's not anything different. Talk about the winter meetings and how the Reds missed out on Kyle Schwarber and made 0 moves so far. What a typical Reds offseason so far. They've signed Emilio Pagan as their big splash. Would have been a 50-yard field goal attempt. Instead, they go for it on 4th and 4. Ravens take over at their own 32. Pitch out wide right to Derrick Henry. He's got space to run. First down and more. Out past the 50. Out to the 40, and he's tackled there from behind by Geno Stone. A big gain on first down for Derrick Henry. Gain of 28, maybe more. 28 for Derrick Henry. If you've got Tyrone Tracy in your fantasy league, he just scored another touchdown for the Giants. Oh, I missed the replay. But there were 4 Ravens around the ball when it got to Gesicki. All right, so now 1st and 10 for the Ravens at the Bengals 39. Henry again. Got room again. He's past the 30, past the 20. Jordan Battle finally brings him down at the 14-yard line. 24-yard run now for Derrick Henry on that play. Back-to-back runs for Derrick Henry of 20-plus. Derrick Henry, 8 carries, 70 yards. Bengals defense is showing similar level effort as they did at the beginning of the year. And DJ Turner's down hurt. I mean, could today go any worse? Literally could not go any worse. The season's over, Lord. It's over. Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, so Ben said, okay, is Evan sick or something? Like, I get Joe wanting TDs, but a head coach should know field goals are sometimes the lesser of two evils. 4th and 4 plus territory. You're down by 2 touchdowns and you haven't scored at all. Like, I don't know how much a field goal really does for you in that situation, if I'm being completely honest. Like, it's still a 2-possession game. I don't know. It's early, so it's tough, but I don't know. I'm okay going for it. I just wish that Burrow would have made the right read and hit Chase on the crossing route instead of throwing it deep to Gesicki. I mean, WTI trader, I can get behind that. Regardless of the outcome of that 4th and 4, I'm still behind that. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I don't even see it as a question mark at this point. Got 1 year left on his contract, but he's about to be 8-2. Yeah, we're losing. We're down 14-0, Jade. Yeah, we talked about that, Howard. I'm sure we'll talk about it more this week. DJ hopping up and down on the sidelines. Looked like he's going to be okay. It was a ankle injury, it looked like, but he'll be all right. Keaton Mitchell gets the handoff now. Work his way down towards the 10-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play. The Ravens, since week 10, are just 36.4% on getting a TD in the red zone, giving the ball away twice in the red zone in those weeks, despite having 22 red zone trips. Jackson hands it off to Henry, I think. Tackled for a short gain. Stood up at the line of scrimmage by Miles Murphy. What if the front office said, if you lose another game regardless of postseason, we fire you, which is why the Bills' loss sucks? Burrow knew. Certainly possible. Certainly possible. That may be why they held on to Zach after the bye week. I called for them to make a move at the bye week because I thought that Zach wasn't the answer and wasn't going to go there anyway. But they didn't do that, and maybe it was because they thought that they still had a chance at the playoffs, and now they see that that may not be the case. 3rd and 3 from the 9. Jackson looking to pass. Throws in the back right corner of the end zone, and Zay Flowers can't come up with it. Had Zay Flowers open in the back corner, and it just overthrew him a little bit. Went off of Zay Flowers' hands and went incomplete. They even did good with Flacco. Did Flacco win a game? Last I checked, we lost to the Bears and the Jets with Joe Flacco. Like, shout out to Joe Flacco. He was a serviceable replacement, but let's not act like Joe Flacco saved Zach Taylor's job when he lost those games. Field goal is up and good to make it a 17-0 game. 27-yard attempt by Tyler Loop. Yeah, he did beat the Steelers. He beat the Steelers, but yeah, a lot of fans still in the stands, which is somewhat surprising, I guess, but shout out. Cleveland on the board. Schmidt with a 50-yard field goal. Make it 14-3. Another super chat. The Bengals front office had a massive swing and miss with Shamar Stewart. His replacement at Texas A&M, Cassius Howell, has 11.5 sacks this season. The Bengals can draft Howell to replace Stewart again. I'm not going to lie. Howell's on my radar for sure. Howell's on my radar. 42 points and 497 yards is good enough for a backup. Yes. Nobody's arguing that he did fine as a backup, but he is the head coach, not the offensive coordinator. Only if they brought in a legitimate GM. I said this on the broadcast on Friday. I personally want two things to happen. One of them is a non-negotiable. The non-negotiable is we need a true GM. Like Duke Tobin doesn't make sense. The other thing that like I could be convinced otherwise on, I admit it's like probably a little bit washy, but like I honestly think that we'd be better off handing off play calling to Dan Pitcher. I think Zach Taylor gets distracted during the game. He's not able to actually manage the game. Plus, he clearly doesn't have his eye on the defense. I think this team would be better with Zach Taylor not calling plays, but I understand that his offense is not the issue. But as a head coach, he is struggling, and so we gotta do something. And maybe him being able to focus on the entire team and not just on the offense is one answer. I don't know, WT. I said that on Friday. It certainly seemed like maybe Burrow was seeing the writing on the wall. But I don't know. I think the argument is that our defense is the biggest issue in that but most offensive coordinators could come in with the weapons that the Bengals have and have success. And so you go out and you hire a defensive head coach, bring him in, fix the defense, and let the offense continue to cook with the talent they have. But it starts with talent. And we talked about this with like Duke Tobin and whether or not there's a GM, someone coming in, Katie Blackburn making a move in free agency. Like something's got to happen from a personnel perspective too. Otherwise it's not going to matter. But I think Zach has a lot of say in the draft. And I think that's been a huge issue. So we'll see. Bengals take over at the 26. Taj Brooks' return ends there. Burrow in looking to get the Bengals on the board. They trail 17-0 with 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Dumps this one off to Chase Brown in the flat on the right side, and he's spun down out of bounds almost immediately by Gilman after a gain of 1 or 2. Yeah, I said this, and we had the conversation with did James Cook get in there? I said this on Off the Bench as well. I had the conversation of I don't think Zach Taylor gets hired as a head coach anywhere if he gets fired by the Bengals, but I do think that he gets hired as an offensive coordinator. So 2nd and 8, ball at the 28. Burrow dumps it off to Tanner Hudson, who's tackled just short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1 at the 35-yard line. I think Molly's predicting, not saying that happened. He's predicting. It was a hard hit right on the knee too. James Cook into the end zone, bring the score closer in New England. A.J. Brown with a touchdown in Philly. They're up 30-0 on the Raiders. Meanwhile, 3rd and 1. Pirine to Burrow's right. Hand it to Pirine up the middle. He'll have the first down as the clock clicks under 7:30. Dallas Goedert has 6 catches for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns in that one. Meanwhile, Saquon Barkley, 22 rushes, 78 yards and a touchdown. He's already had 2 defensive coordinators. He's lost his right to blame the coordinator. It's on him. Burrow fakes the handoff, dumps it out to Tanner Hudson again, who catches it at the line of scrimmage and is immediately spun down again by Gilman. Gain of nothing on first down. Marvin Lewis didn't have the talent that Zach Taylor has. The expectations are completely different for Zach Taylor than they were for Marvin Lewis. 2nd down and 9 officially. Burrow in shotgun with Pirine to the right. Burrow looking to pass, dumps it off to Pirine. Short. 3rd down and 9 now. I mean, nobody's arguing that head coaches can't call the offense. But Sean McVay also has the defensive coordinator that gets the job done and also has a philosophy in personnel that gets the job done. Sean McVay and his complete lack of regard for draft picks is the reason why they are as good as they are. Yes, his offense is good. I get it. But the personnel is much better, and that also has to do with the head coach. Burrow looking to pass on 3rd and 8. Scrambles right. Looking, just has to dump out of bounds. Gain of 1, and it's going to be 4th and 7, and the Bengals are going to have to punt it away. Terrible first drive of the second half, or second drive of the second half. I don't have enough vision here to tell if anybody's open or what's going on. I don't know if they're like triple teaming Jamar Chase now. I don't know if Gesicki's not finding open space. I don't know, but not a good start to the second half for this Bengals. 100%, Justin. We don't look like we're in it right now. Rico will punt. It'll bounce and take a Bengals bounce inside the 10, where Will Wagner will down it around the 8. Oh, he's wide open. Dalton Schultz with the touchdown in Houston. Texans now lead the Cardinals 30-7 with the extra point. Everybody looks depressed. Chase looks depressed. Burrow looks depressed. I can't tell if Zach looks depressed because he's got a million layers on, including a mask. So, but it just feels like last week's loss to the Bills just kind of changed the perception for everybody. Wow, how about that? DJ Moore, 22-yard touchdown catch. Heck of a throw by Caleb Williams on the run. 21-3 now. Bears lead the Browns. I mean, one could argue he never should have been fired or hired to begin with, felons, but sorry, Brooks. It's all my fault. 100% all my fault. Yeah, that's true, David. But he also was like completely changing a culture. If you look like at what happened before Marvin Lewis versus what happened before Zach Taylor, like it's just completely different expectations. I get it though. You're right. He had talent, which is why he made the playoffs so many times. But yeah, he should have won games. Talent on offense, but a trash defense courtesy of our inept front office. Zach didn't choose not to re-sign Jesse Bates and DJ Reader. That's when the problems really began. Oh, he didn't choose not to re-sign them, but he also chose not to replace them. So I don't know. Marvin absolutely would have done more with this talent. I don't think there's any question about it. No wasted timeouts in the second half yet. Plenty in the first. Andrew. All right, Derrick Henry gets the handoff from the 8, and he's got yet another first down, and he's that could have been a touchdown, but a shoestring tackle by Geno Stone. Loved it. Wow. $22 yards for Derrick Henry, and it almost broke it for more. I think that was Geno Stone on the tackle. That's actually not Duke's job. It's Katie's job, but nonetheless. Derrick Henry on the carry. Pickup of a couple. And the Ravens are working on milking this clock. Yeah, Geno Stone saved a touchdown. 2nd and 5. Jackson looking to pass, throwing over the middle. He's got Flowers for a first down out to midfield. Nobody else would hire him as a head coach, felons. Maybe someone like the Titans or something like that, but I don't even think they would. I don't know. Just no, Zimmer's not going to be a head coach. Handoff goes to Keaton Mitchell on the left side. He's got another big hole, and this Bengals defense is just getting gashed on the ground right now. Is Mike Zimmer even coaching right now? I don't think he is. He was the DC in Dallas last year. I don't think he's coaching this year, though. If we get blown out, where do we go from here? Well, I don't think anything is going to happen at this point. I just, you wait until the end of the season and then Zach gets fired and then you move on. But Bengals will sack Jackson on the play. Miles Murphy and TJ Slayton in there. Miles Murphy with his 2nd sack of the day. Yeah, Zimmer's 69, not coaching this year. Shadur Sanders just threw an interception. He's 7 of 19, 112 yards and 2 interceptions now. Bears will take over after the touchback. Jackson fakes the pitch to Mitchell. And he's going to be brought down in the backfield again? No. Gets it away. Out to Mitchell. No, they called him in the grasp. Bengals get another sack of Jackson. Called him in the grasp. Joseph Osai in there. Looked like the entire Bengals defensive line was in there, for being honest. And Ronnie Stanley is down on the ground. Stanley now getting helped up by 2 of his fellow offensive linemen as he hobbles to the sideline. Who all was in there on that? Miles Murphy again. How about Miles Murphy having a day? 3 sacks. Shout out to Miles Murphy. If there's a positive today, it is that. Miles Murphy. Marvin also controlled the roster better. No one that Vrabel would go to was willing to hire Vrabel. That's the question. Oh, no. Now Miles Murphy. Oh, no. That's Chris Jenkins is down. Demetrius Knight Jr. gets the sack, though. We just got 3 straight sacks. It's 4th and super long. The Ravens will punt it away, but Chris Jenkins Jr. is down injured on the ground. That 2 sacks for Demetrius Knight Jr. now, too? I think it is. Knight's having a better game this week. But you know whose name we haven't called at all? Barrett Carter. Oren Burks. I think we said Oren Burks' name once. Never for Barrett Carter. I think so, Blackmore. If my math is right. 4th and 21. Bro, we're down 17-0. And the third quarter is about to end. Fair catch called for by Mitchell Tinsley at the 13-yard line. Did Charlie Jones get hurt? Did I miss something? Trey McBride with another touchdown in Arizona. Beast mode. Oh, Charlie Jones is hurt. Right ankle injury. Return is questionable. Noah Fant, also a right ankle injury. His return is questionable. So there you go. Thank you. Burrow looking to pass on first down. Dumps it off yet again. Chase Brown. Chase Brown makes one man miss. Spins. Kyle Hamilton brings him down at the 21. It'll be 2nd down and 2. What's up with all these dinks and dunks? Nobody's open downfield, I guess, huh? That'll be the end of the third quarter. Bengals trail 17-0. Can we get on the board? When was the last time the Bengals were shut out? If Google is accurate, the last time the Bengals were shut out was by the Baltimore Ravens 20-0 on September 10th, 2017. Andy Dalton threw 4 interceptions in that game. Yeah, the offense doesn't look like it's doing a whole lot today. All right. Got it ready. Good idea, David. If the Bengals had just taken Carson Schlesinger instead of Shamar Stewart, at least we'd have a Pro Bowl caliber linebacker. Yeah, if we developed him the same way the Browns have, that's the other question. Like a lot of people, the draft is one thing, and for sure they haven't been able to hit in the draft. But how much of it is on the talent that they draft, and how much of it is on the lack of development? I don't know that answer, but would Carson Schlesinger have the same success level that he's had with the Browns with the Bengals? I don't know. Burrow hands it off to Pirine for a short gain. It'll be 3rd and 1. They're going to go hurry up here as the clock ticks in the fourth quarter. Now Burrow slows it down. looking at the Ravens defense, figuring out what they want to do, rearranging the deck chairs here. Burrow in shotgun with Pirine to his right. Hands it to Pirine up the middle. He's not going to get there. Stuffed by John Jenkins, and it's going to be 4th down and 1 at the Bengals' 22-yard line. What are they going to do? And Pirine's hurt. Oh, my God. Nothing is going right today. Oh, he fumbled. I didn't even notice that he fumbled it. Luckily, Dylan Fairchild fell on it. Yeah, I'm on red zone. The joy of being out, quote unquote out of market most weeks is that red zone's typically pretty good in terms of speed. No, I don't think it was a first down, but I guess we'll wait and see. Trainers are out to look at Samaje Perine. Looks like ball was recovered at the 22, so it's going to be 4th and 1. So what do you do? Tell me, chat. 4th and 1 from your own 22-yard line. You going for it? Down 17 in the 4th? What do you guys think? QB sneak? Gotta go for it. You go. QB sneak. Okay. Everyone says go for it. We have to go for it, I guess. I mean, season on the line. Go, go, go. Throw an interception like last week. Throw a go ball to Jamar Chase in triple coverage. You punt on the season. Might as well. Will be a deep ball. So much fun. So much fun. All right, here we go. 4th down and 1. Bengals are lining up to go for it. Joe Burrow is in shotgun right now. Look for the tight end motion and sneak here. Let's see. No, Burrow's going to throw. Screen pass out left to Chase Brown, and he's got the first down. They ran a little out route to Chase Brown, picked up 2. It was enough. Now they'll go hurry up here. Ball rests at the Bengals 24. Burrow looking to pass again. Pump fakes right, pump fakes left, and then gets taken down for a sack by Travis Jones. Nothing's easy with this team, huh? Ooh, Rashee Rice just got laid out. No, Burrow won't let you take him out yet. Burrow throwing left. He's got Jamar Chase at the 25. Fights forward for a couple more before Nate Wiggins forces him out at the 28. Now 3rd down and 7. 5 seconds on the play clock. Burrow in shotgun looking to throw, and he's going to get sacked almost immediately, but no, he gets the ball away, but it's behind Jamar Chase. Tremont Jones got to Burrow almost immediately, but he's down hurt. Amarius Mims is also down hurt. Ugh. Cold is starting to get to people. Ravens had 7 men at the line. Dropped 3 back. Only looks like they brought 4. Tremont Jones got home almost immediately, and Marius Mims got wiped out on the near tackle, and the ball was behind Jamar Chase. Mims slowly trying to figure out if he can put weight on it or not. Bengals offense looks like it's staying out there. Are they going to go for it on 4th and 7? How confident are we that we will score this game? I'm not. I'm really not. I'm not confident at all. We got 12 minutes and 10 seconds left to do it, though. Josh Allen just found Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox for a touchdown. And the Bills take a lead, 27-24. Burrow, shotgun. Men on either side of him. Back to pass. Throwing left. Jamar Chase has got it. He's past the 40, past the 50 into Ravens territory, pushed out of bounds at the 43. Talking smack to Nate Wiggins. Jamar. We don't need a replay. Don't push the ref. Jamar and Nate were talking a little bit during the injury timeouts, and Bengals come out and go right back to him. And he's talking a little bit, and the ref is coming trying to tell him to walk away, and Jamar's putting his hand up, telling him, I'm good, pushing him back. Be smart, Jamar. Jamar's got 8 catches for 114 yards in this one. Fake the handoff to Brooks. Burrow scrambles right. Throws downfield back across his body, and Mitchell Tinsley's got it there at the 29. Another Cincinnati Bengals first down as the clock hits 11 minutes in the 4th. Marlon Humphrey down with an injury now. Uh, 27 yards on the Chase reception. 16 on Yoshi's reception. The Chargers just took a 16-13 lead over the Chiefs on a field goal by Cameron Dicker. Looks like they're checking Marlon Humphrey's knee. He was holding the back of his knee. Now they're checking it for maybe ligament issues. Meanwhile, Terry McLaurin, deep ball touchdown for the Commanders. Scary Terry into the end zone. Duke and Zach won't be fired because who else will mow Mike Brown's lawn or clean his pool or wax his Cadillac? Oh, my God. You guys are crazy. Appreciate the super chats, though, for sure. You guys are at least making it so I'm having a little bit of fun in this terrible game. If the Chargers win, at least we can be eliminated the same week as the Chiefs. Extra point is good. Commanders lead 29-14 over the Giants. Oh, man. Stop it. Stop it, Lane. How do you think the front office processes all the hate we throw at them? Any care at all? No, I bet they're not even aware. They don't listen to the fans. Not a whole lot of close ball games going on. Jacksonville leads 41-13 over the Jets. Bills and Patriots is a good one, 28-24. Chargers 16-13 over the Chiefs. And as they say on the red zone, it is witching hour, where wins become losses and losses become wins. Or if you're the Bengals, just hope to get on the board. Oh my God. I can't believe they're bringing back Phillip Rivers, and I can't believe he's starting. Yeah. Well, Trevion Henderson just broke another long one, and he's into the end zone again, and that Bills lead was short-lived. Trevion Henderson. Good thing I left him on my bench this week. All right, Burrow back to pass. Swings it out to Chase Brown. Brown gets it out to the 26, a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Trevion Henderson was bottled up at the 40-yard line, bounced it back the other way, and took it to the house. He's got 13 carries, 143 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. He's also got 2 catches for 13 yards in this one. The Patriots lead 31-28 now. Burrow back to pass, looking right. He's got Tanner Hudson for a first down, gain of 7, inside the red zone now. Under 10 minutes to play here. Bengals trail 17-0. Ball rests at the Ravens 18. Burrow looking to throw again. He throws over the middle. Chase Brown caught down to the 10, but there's a flag on the play. Looks like it's in the secondary, so maybe an illegal contact or something. Oh, offsides on the defense. I said Dramont Jones was lined up offsides. So what did the Bengals do? They're showing the Trevion Henderson touchdown now, 65 yards to the house. All right, Burrow and the Bengals, 2nd down and 2 inside the 10-yard line. Burrow in shotgun, hands it off to Chase Brown. Brown up the middle, nowhere to go. Tries to bounce it, has nowhere to go still. Goes right back up the middle again, and looks like he may have enough for a first down. It'll depend on the spot. Bengals have had 3 possessions in Baltimore territory. They've gone punt, interception, and turnover on downs. Looks like the mark is going to be enough for a first down, and it'll be 1st and goal for the Bengals at the 8. Motion Iosivas trips right now. Burrow looking to pass. Over the middle to Jamar Chase, and Chase is fighting his way forward. He'll go down at the 3-yard line. Pickup of 5. They're definitely not tanking. Yeah, I don't know why they're going so slow. Clock is approaching 8 minutes left to go in the game, and the Bengals are still huddling down 17-0. This is a 7-minute drive down 17-0. And the play is going to be blown dead, presumably a false start. Orlando Brown Jr. on the false start. I will take it back out to the 8-yard line again. Not a false start. I don't like that call. But it comes with 8 minutes exactly. Burrow motions Iosivas to the top of the screen. 4 receivers into the game. Burrow looking right. Throw into the back end zone for Mitchell Tinsley, who can't come down with it. Marlon Humphrey on the coverage. Tinsley almost had it, but lost it as he hit the ground. Meanwhile, the Jets and Isaiah Davis get into the end zone to cut the Jaguars' lead and make it 41-20 now. Yeah, that's a ball that I think Mitchell Tinsley would have liked to catch. I think if you ask him, he should have had that one. 3rd and goal from the 7. Burrow, oh my God. Burrow's intercepted, and the Ravens are going to take this one all the way back to the house. Gilman into the end zone, and it is all over in Cincinnati. Burrow was under pressure, kind of looked like it buckled a little bit as he threw it, and just right to the Ravens defender. Are you guys having fun? You've now had 4 possessions in the Ravens territory. Interception, punt, downs, interception. Extra points good. Ravens lead 24-0. Let's see what happened. Kyle Van Noy's coming in on the blitz. He drops back. And then Burrow just doesn't see him and tries to hit his receiver on the crossing route. Van Noy hands it off to Gilman, and Gilman takes it the rest of the way. Just a brutal game, top to bottom, for this Bengals team. Absolutely brutal. Let's see. I missed a super chat. 2 super chats. Ben, your last one. Remember what statistician Abraham Wald taught us about survivorship bias. We need that mentality when constructing a roster. And then why don't we no huddle like Palmer? I don't know why we're not no huddling there. The fact that it took us so long on that drive, I just want to call this out. That was a 16 play, 80-yard, 7-minute and 44-second drive down 17-0 that ended in a pick six. So in the first quarter, they had an 11-play drive that went 8 minutes and they punted. Now 16 plays, 80 yards, pick six. I mean, just an absolutely brutal day. Bengals with the ball again. 7 minutes and 30 seconds to play. They'll hand the ball off to Chase Brown on the left side. Brown will pick up 7. I mean, I blame Burrow last week. Burrow not having a good game this week again. 23 of 36, 208 yards and 2 interceptions. Handed off to Chase Brown. Bengals are conceding this game. Burrow hands it off again. Chase Brown up the middle. Gain of 6. It'll be a first down. James Cook into the end zone for the Bills. The Bills take a lead back. If you're looking for an entertaining game, it's in New England right now. Bills lead 35-31. Meanwhile, the Bengals are just running the clock here in Cincinnati. Second and 7, 5 minutes to play. Appreciate you, John. Oh, they're going to throw the ball on 2nd and 7. And it's nearly intercepted by Nate Wiggins. Intended for Jamar Chase, falls incomplete, but Nate Wiggins had both hands on that one. It looked like it bounced off his chest. Meanwhile, Travis Etienne catches a screen pass. And he'll take it 45 yards to the house. Travis Etienne. My guillotine league may be alive after all. Burrow hands it up the middle. Samaje Perine back in the game. How about that? Whoa. What happened there? All of a sudden, my guillotine league, I'm expected to win it. James Cook has 29.7. Jamar Chase has 21. Michael Wilson, 16.4. Travis Etienne, 31.5. Imagine if I had started Trevion Henderson, too, with his 29.6 instead of Quinshon Judkins. Dang, look at me. It's still early. I'm not ready to get excited, but I'm excited. Bengals 4th and 3. Burrow back to pass. Throws left. Jamar Chase has it at the 36-yard line for a first down. Out of bounds with 4 minutes to go. A nice catch by Jamar Chase on that one. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes just threw an interception. The Chargers take the ball back inside the 5-yard line. I think they have the lead 16-13. Another Samaje Perine run here on first down. Who's blaming the defense right now? I'm not blaming the defense right now. This is a game that honestly should have been one. Yeah, I have Red Zone on the big TV, and I've got the Bengals game on my computer. Burrow with another handoff to Perine. It'll be tackled after a short gain. It'll be 3rd and 6. Myles Garrett has 1.5 sacks today. He sits now at 21.5 on the season, just 1 sack shy of the NFL record. Burrow looking to throw on 3rd and 6, throws over the middle for Drew Sample, who has the ball right at the line to gain. We'll see if they give it to him. No, they're going to mark him short, 4th down. 4th and 1 as we'll have to have one more play before the 2-minute warning. Ball rests at the 27-yard line. If you're looking for a Chase Brown touchdown, you're not going to get it because Samaje Perine's in the game. Fant's back in the game as well with his ankle injury. Handed it to Perine, and he won't get there, and that'll do it. 2 minutes and 4 seconds left on the clock as Samaje Perine is marked short of the line to gain. Bengals will turn it over on downs. Ravens will get it. Bengals will have the full 3 timeouts, but I don't know if they'll use it in this situation at this point. And that's it. Bengals get shut out for the first time since 2017. Ravens are going to win this one 24-0. And the Bengals are going to drop to 4-10. Nobody's fired on Monday. If you were going to fire anybody, it would have been a while ago. Not going to fire him with 3 weeks left. And the Ravens have brought in Tyler Huntley. He'll hand it off to Keaton Mitchell, who fall forward for 3 yards and will be at the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning in Cincinnati. Ravens lead 24-0. Make sure you stick around. Casey McAllister will join me for the post-game show in what I'm sure will be a thrilling and insightful conversation. If you're cold from the watching this Bengals game and being outside, maybe now's a good time to plug the Omaha Steaks Sizzle All the Way sale. Knock out your holiday shopping with Omaha Steaks Sizzle All the Way sale. Get 50% off site-wide. Plus, use promo code Chatterbox for an extra $35 off. Visit omahasteaks.com. to get your order today. Place order by 6 p.m. Eastern, and it ships same day. You'll have it in plenty of time for Christmas. So are we rooting for the Texans or Colts this postseason, or the Lions? Well, if the Colts are rocking with Phillip Rivers, I think I'm rooting for them. But I don't know if they'll even make the postseason now with this. So maybe the Texans. One name that I saw for potential replacement for Zach Taylor is Matt Burke. He's the Texans defensive coordinator. He's certainly an intriguing option. Been coaching for a long, long time. Never been a head coach. He was the linebackers coach for Cincinnati from 2014 to 2015. So I don't want Flores. I mean, I'll support him if that's who we go with, but not my first choice. That Ravens fan is an idiot. Put your shirt back on, brother. It's too cold for that. All right, 2-minute warning is over. Huntley will toss it out to Keaton Mitchell. Mitchell will have enough for a first down and more before being dragged down out of bounds by Jordan Battle. I mean, Shadur Sanders didn't have a good day, but neither did Joe Burrow. Ravens are going to kneel it out now, and the Bengals will officially be eliminated from playoff contention. And as is customary here with Chatterbox Bengals, we'll be sticking around for a post-game show. I'm going to go ahead and let Casey run that intro now. There's no point in waiting this out. Casey, I'll let you take it away when you're ready.
Looking right around Huntley. He reaches. Oh, that ball's out. That's live. Back the other way. Sam Hubbard. The Cincinnati Kid. Hubbard's got a convoy. Chased by Andrews. At the 30. The 20. He will score.
To the end zone. Down the field. And it is deflected. And gone. Touchdown. A.J. Green.
Back to throw. Men are coming late. Looks right down the middle. There's Eddie Brown. He has it at the 35 to the 30. He may go 10-5. Touchdown.
Now the Bengals Super Bowl chances rest on his right foot. The kick is up. It is good.
Corey Dillon. He's gone. The knockout punch. You're looking at it. 65 yards.
And they're back to throw as the blitz is on. Goes long, intended for Collinsworth. He has it down to the 20. Touchdown. And Chris Collinsworth.
Throwing the long ball. Deep down the field. Johnson's got it. Touchdown. Cincinnati. Look at Chase go. Oh my goodness. What a gear he just found. Case for the touchdown. Wow. Chase is on the case.
It is no fluke. It is a fact. The Cincinnati Bengals are headed to Super Bowl 56. The play clock at 3. Shotgun snap. Carr throws into
Nice.
traffic.
Nice.
Intercepted.
Nice. Nice.
Jermaine Pratt has the
Baby.
football.
Yeah.
Coffin nails.
Bam, bam, bam. How about that?
How about that? Coffin nails indeed. Bengals season and any slim hopes of a playoff berth out the window. And David gave me a good idea during the stream, Casey, as I just want to go ahead and get this out of the way. It's officially red season again. And
That's right.
Bengals season is over. So here we go. Let's break it down. Bengals lose 24-0. First time they've been shut out since 2017 when the Ravens did it to them as well. 20-0 was the score in that one. This time 24-0. Bengals can't get anything going offensively. Joe Burrow not on his game. Drop passes in the first half. Defense was not terrible, but got gashed in the second half on the ground for sure. Your initial reaction to the unfortunate display of football that we just saw?
Oh no, we suck again. That's my initial reaction. Craig, today was just not a good day. It just wasn't a good day, and it certainly was not a fun day. It certainly was not fun for Joe Burrow to go out there and throw 2 interceptions, a pick 6 again, to seal the game off. Man, I mean, what's crazy is that the defense, like, it stepped up a couple different times in the second half too. Like, we were right there. It's crazy that the offense kind of listened to me a little bit, and they had a very long drive. And they were converting on third down. They were right there in the red zone, and it just, I think, unfortunately, the well-timed blitz up the middle just wasn't expecting that pressure right there. Joe Burrow throws just a pass that I don't even know what he was really looking at. I just think he was trying to get rid of the ball and way underthrow or just way behind someone. Can't really justify it. It was just a terrible idea by Burrow. Once again, he made a lot of bad decisions today. And, today just wasn't their day. Whether you want to point at it being just a one-off thing or you want to point at the team kind of starting to roll over a little bit and maybe they're giving up on Zach. Regardless of what you think, just wasn't good enough today. Certainly wasn't good enough.
Was not good enough. A couple super chats in early here in the post-game show. Play the Jim Mora drop. Playoffs? Talking about playoffs? I just hope we can win another game. And I'm kind of in that same boat, Casey. I think at this point, you've got the Cardinals still on your schedule. You've got the Dolphins on the schedule next week. Maybe there's some hope for some wins, but I don't know that I'm really overly optimistic about anything anymore with this Bengals team and the way that they look today. Offensively, defensively, just not good top to bottom. Let me ask you real quick before we keep talking about today. You've got 3 games left, Dolphins, Cardinals, and Browns. How many do the Bengals win?
1.
Which one?
1. I will give them the Browns win. I think that they're going to get cooked by the Cardinals and Trey McBride. He's going to have
oh my God,
a career day, a 200-yard day.
I didn't even think about that. Yep.
And then the Dolphins, to me, that could be a close game. They've been doing really well recently, though. They're 6-7. They play Monday night, so they're going to be on a short week. 6-7. So maybe there's a chance that they pull off a win against the Dolphins. But man, it's just I feel like the team's given up. That's my problem. I think on paper, roster wise, I think they're better than some of these teams. But in terms of effort, I don't know if it's going to be there. I don't know if they're mentally in it. I don't think Burrow was mentally in it today. He looked so off today. He didn't look like himself. I mean, Jamar had a pretty poor first half. He kind of turned things around the second half. Where was like today we really missed T. Like maybe getting healthy would help, but I don't know, Craig. It just they're in a really
you
bad
really missed a
spot.
possession receiver in this one. Yeah, there were several moments where T. Higgins just felt like he would have been a go-to situation and just was not the case this year or this week. Another super chat. This isn't a football team. It's just players. I mean, I don't even know if we have that many good players, especially on the defensive side of the ball, but nonetheless, another super chat from Ben Riley. Glad we lost. Now I can focus more on programming games using Blender on Sundays. Go Reds. All right, well, let's take a look at a quick stat recap from this one. It wasn't a pretty one by any means. Burrow, 25 of 39, 225 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. The one interception was really bad. Threw it right to Kyle Van Noy. The other one wasn't a good throw, was tipped by Jamar Chase and then intercepted, but neither one was pretty, and both of them not good throws by Joe. Chase Brown, 13 carries, 53 yards, 7 receptions for, that's not correct, 37 yards. Apologize for that typo there. I'll update that. Jamar Chase did have 10 catches for 132 yards. P. Ryan, 14 carries, 42 yards. And maybe the story of the game, Myles Murphy with 2 sacks. I think officially he'll get 2.5. But yeah, I mean, offensively, this team just never got going. And it looked like it from near the beginning, right? They start off with a long drive to start the game, go 40 yards, and then end up having to punt. And it just from there, just like they never really felt like they had any sort of rhythm. Play calling fell off. Joe Burrow didn't have anything downfield for most of the game. Had to do a lot of just dump offs out to the outside to his running backs or his tight ends. Just under pressure a lot. Just not a good game at all.
Yeah, not in the slightest. And part of it too, like I think we can kind of point to the idea of like when Burrow is not perfect, even the offense is not very good. Like there's still a lot of issues there that really need to be addressed in the offseason. Whether that's, getting a better run game, being more efficient, getting him under center. That way he's not forced to make the perfect throw every single time, make the perfect decision every time. The other storyline of this game, you said Myles Murphy had 2 sacks. Demetrius Knight, I mean, he had 2 sacks too on 2 well-timed. I think one was a quarterback spy. He just really came in there and blitzed at the end of the play on a 3-man rush. Blitzed. He got to Lamar when he was scrambling. So I'll give Demetrius Knight and Myles Murphy credit. The defense, like they played good enough to win today. That's the thing is all season long, we haven't seen the defense be able to put the offense in positions like these. Since the bye week, they've had a couple of games here. You look at the Patriots, you look at the game today against Baltimore. They had opportunities to, give the offense a chance to win the game, and they can't figure out a way to get the offense going. This team is just not playing complementary football ever. They just never can be cohesive as a group together, as a unit together. They just somehow stumble and fall. And whether that's the leadership in the locker room, if that's Zach Taylor or the players, something's got to change, man. I don't know how you look at today and go, there's nothing wrong with the locker room. There's nothing wrong with the staff. There's nothing wrong with what we do from top to bottom. I mean, we said it on the halftime show. They're in trouble with the league because they can't get the seats cleared off. Like, come on. They got to really look at themselves in the mirror, ownership, leadership, and say, we will not take this mediocrity any longer. We will not let another golden ticket, our franchise quarterback, rot and waste away. Like, that's basically what's happening right now. What we're seeing with our eyes is just he is rotting away here. I don't know how, as a team, that they can just go forward with this and not change anything. That's my biggest thing right now. My biggest storyline, I guess, going into this. There's got to be some sort of change. If you want to try to roll into some momentum to the next season by, firing Zach and showing like, hey, we're gonna change some things around here, play hard for an interim coach. Those things can happen. Not that it matters. I mean, we're not going to make the playoffs. I'm pretty sure we're eliminated after that loss. So, I mean, what do you play for? I don't know. I'm done ranting. I just feel like I've been sitting here going in circles, but that's pretty much how the season has gone all year round, man. It's just not acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills lost last week, especially the last 7 minutes when Burrow threw those 2 interceptions that broke the backs. Just felt like it did exactly that. Like, it just broke the Bengals' will, and there was zero real effort today from the very beginning. It felt like they came out flat. They played flat throughout the entire game, and unfortunately just have really no interest, it felt like, in playing this game from almost the very beginning. And Joe obviously had some interesting comments from the week and talking about having fun and being interested, and it just it carried over. Like, honestly, it just carried over. And if you're spending the entire week down in the dumps like that, then certainly you're not going to come out and play well on a Sunday. That is for sure to be expected.
Yeah, this certainly wasn't fun.
It's just, yeah.
We had to sit here and watch that. That's not fun.
Yep. And so now the Bengals missed the playoffs for the 3rd straight year in Joe Burrow's prime, including only one season that Joe Burrow played all 18 or 17 games, which is obviously an issue, but they're going to have to figure out what to do. And obviously the question becomes Zach Taylor, and rightfully so. It's been the question now for several weeks. What is the future of Zach Taylor? What is the future of Al Golden? What is the future of this Bengals front office? I've given my opinion plenty of times. Casey, I know you've been kind of in the background and maybe haven't had as many opportunities to speak your mind on what this offseason should look like from a Bengals perspective. So let's do that. Let's get your perspective on Zach Taylor and Duke Tobin and what you think should and what you think will happen this offseason.
Yeah, because the two are they're completely different. Because what will happen is probably no change, maybe a head coaching change, but to me that's not even enough. What I think should happen is they go out and get a real GM. I mean, the comments that were littered within the broadcast, I can't remember who the sideline reporter was. She kept saying that she kept saying that her conversation with Burrow, one of the last comments that she had during that broadcast was that Burrow does not want to be the GM. He does not want to be scouting. He doesn't want to have to advocate for X player. He wants there to be some sort of leadership to take care of those things because that's not his job. He should be focused on trying to win ball games. And do I think this organization will do that? No, I don't think they will. I really don't. I think that they'll ride with the same structure that they've always had, and continue to just find themselves in this place of mediocrity. They should get a GM. They should start from scratch on the coaching staff, increase the scouting department, become a modern organization. They made great strides for a couple seasons now, and what we thought was the start of them becoming a modern franchise, it's clear that it's taking too long for them to do that. Like they need to really start to realize, like, we cannot operate in the same capacity that we've operated for the last 20 years. You got to evolve. You got to modernize. You got to become a leader of innovation, right? To get out ahead of these other teams, because You look at the Eagles, you look at the Patriots, the Chargers, some of these other teams that have gone from zero to hero and have been able to maintain success, like the Bills and the Chiefs. Like this should not happen when you have a franchise quarterback like Joe Burrow. Should not even come close. 3 years of missing the playoffs. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. You got to realize that there's something wrong with the way that you're doing things. I really hope that they can be self-critical, be self-analytical for once, look at themselves in the mirror and say, I don't think we have this. Let's go find someone that can help us. Let's just find someone that can help us. I think that's all it really takes, is the realization that the way that you do things is not going to work anymore, that it's not been working. So if you want it laid out quick and short, I think they should get a GM. I think they should start with a new coaching staff. I think expanded scouting department would go a long way too. And I think that, hitting hard on defense and free agency would help, obviously. I don't think that's the greatest free agent class. I'm looking at veteran leadership for linebacker. I think like Devin Lloyd's available, Devin Bush, just bring in some leadership at the linebacker position. Lots of safeties available. Go get you a bona fide safety. Like, is Kyle Duggar going to get a contract from the Steelers? I don't know, maybe. But maybe go after him. Inject new talent in free agency at every level of the defense. I think that goes a long way. And then come draft, it's like beating a dead horse, but like you gotta find someone that doesn't have zero production and has at least an athletic profile that's not borderline like obese, right? Like that. Some of these guys that they have drafted in the past were not athletic, but they were like a starter for Ohio State, Billy Price, but he had terrible athletic scores. They got to somehow marry the two concepts together, like captain, some good stats here, somewhat athletic, to get a good prospect. They haven't figured out how to do that yet. They just go one extreme or the other. So change in drafting philosophy, right? And past that, protect Joe Burrow in any ways possible on offense, right? I think those would go a very, very long way. So that's what I'm doing in the off season. Those are the conversations I'm having in the building. But I can guarantee you that that's not going to happen.
Yep. Colin Will is a member for 17 months, said 3 straight years without making the playoffs. Zach Taylor has got to go. Speaking of Zach Taylor, he spoke to the media shortly just a couple minutes ago. So let's take a look at a couple quotes from the post-game press conference, Casey. Started off, as a play caller, it starts with me. When you walk away with no points, there is a huge amount of accountability that I have to take for that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we haven't been shut out since 2017. I would hope that he takes some credibility for this performance. Again, part of it I do think was not just because of play calling, but because the players are just out of it. Joe Burrow throwing 2 interceptions today is just not him. And that final pick 6 was brutal, but
yeah, didn't have a real impact on the outcome, though. That game was over either way. Meanwhile, the only remaining game from the early slate, Gardner Minshew in for an injured Patrick Mahomes just threw an interception to Derwin James. Chargers are going to win that one 16-13. So Bengals and Chiefs may both be eliminated from the playoffs on the same day. Wow. Around the league from the early slate, Bears dominate the Browns 31-3. Chargers beat the Chiefs 16-13. Bills beat the Patriots 35-31. Commanders beat the Giants 29-21. Jaguars beat the Jets 48-20. Texans beat the Cardinals 40-20, and the Eagles beat the Raiders 31-0. What are your thoughts on the team's effort? Zach Taylor said, well, we held them to 3 points in the second half.
Great. And you put up 0 points.
Yep. Zach Taylor asked why he and his coaching staff and the organization believe they're the right group to lead the team forward. And he says, I believe in everybody we got. So basically the same exact post-game press conference we've gotten all season out of Zach Taylor. Casey, we've done enough of this. I've been live for 3.5 hours. Any final thoughts on today's absolutely brutal football game, top to bottom?
I mean, the one thing that I will say is that I feel sorry. I feel sorry for you, and I feel sorry for Reed for having to sit through this miserable season. Hopefully, we can just go into the evaluation mode, right? And just learn to watch the game from like the perspective of, oh, is Miles Murphy breaking out? Is Osai starting to come together? Like, can we start finding pieces to look towards the future with? I know some of you are like, why you love Miles Murphy so much, or Osai? Like, I don't, but like, can we find something to look forward to, right? Can we hang our hat on DJ Turner? Can we find the love of just watching good players perform really well? Like, I know Jamar had a poor first half, but he really showed out in that second half. Hopefully Joe Burrow can turn things around, give us a performance like he said. Yeah, I mean, I'm just as tired of this season as everyone else is, and hopefully we can just find some entertainment, some fun, and start evaluating what's staying and what's leaving. So that's all I got.
Well, I'm sure we all can't wait for it. But next week, the Bengals will be back in action. Sunday, December 21st. That game got flexed out of prime time. It'll be a 1 p.m. game. They travel to Miami to face the Miami Dolphins, who will go up against the Steelers on Monday night. So they currently sit, I believe, at 6-7. That game at Hard Rock Stadium. We'll be live as we always are, starting at 12:30 for our pregame show, and then we'll have a live watch along and postgame show afterwards. Breaking news on that front. I will be in Cincinnati at the Chatterbox Studios. Reed and I will be doing the watch along together from Chatterbox Studios there in Hamilton. So you'll have Reed and I for the entire day, and we'll take you through from 12:30 all the way through the end of the game and into the postgame show. So we hope that you will join us, even though the Bengals aren't exactly a whole lot of positive to tune into. I hope maybe hanging out with Reed and I for a few hours will bring you a little bit of happiness, even if the Bengals can't. So until then, we'll be live with any breaking news if there is anything. But otherwise, make sure you check out Off the Bench at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday, and the Stone Shield Show starting at 11. For Casey McAllister, I'm Craig Sandlin. This has been Chatterbox Bengals. Bengals lose 24-0 to the Ravens. We'll see you next time, everybody.